Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Good morning. Welcome back to another episode of the Chad Smith Podcast. My name is Chad Smith, and today is Tuesday, April 12th, 2022, and I'm joined today by my awesome co-host, once again, back from a short hiatus. Please welcome back, Spooky Morales. How's it going?
What's happening, Chad? Good morning, everybody.
Hey, how's it going, man? So good to finally have you back.
Thank you, man. That week seemed like forever, man. I couldn't believe it was only a week.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. It doesn't seem like it was just a week.
It was torture.
Yep.
But I'm back from the dead once again. I wanna just say thank you so much to everybody that sent the well wishes, the prayers, and the positive healing energies. They were received, and I really appreciated it so much.
Awesome. And they worked? All the positive affirmation worked?
Yeah, feeling better.
Oh, that's sweet. Very cool. Randall Hill says, Spooky, I'll be back in a minute. I'm in the middle of a Bible study, just a reminder. I used to be a Satan worshiper. Oh, wow. Awesome. Oh, wow. Okay, then. Do fine. Chad, you killing it, brother. Thank you. Appreciate that. Ann Palmer in the chat. Good morning. Good to see you. Jake Smith. Good to see you, buddy. Let's go back up to the top. Vash the Impaler. Good to see you this morning. Walt Corbin. Good to see you. Whoa. Yes, it's a quarter till, Chad. Absolutely. Thanks for letting me know. And we got Enzo Surreal. How you doing, buddy? Good morning, everyone, Enzo. And good morning, Chad Smith Podcast. And I think that is it, guys. So I'm going to bring in our guest today is Chris Harmon with the WASP Paranormal Project. And we will bring him up right here. How's it going, Chris?
It's going good, gentlemen. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you very much for coming on with us this morning.
And I'm glad to hear, Spooky, you're doing all right. That sucks to hear what happened with you, but good to see you're healthy again, man.
Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate that. Welcome.
Man, I love your logo. That's the first thing I wanted to talk about is your logo. Because it stood out like somebody professionally paid a lot of money and professionally designed it or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny about that. There was a guy I used to work with. His name's Dalton Larson. He's the one that actually came up with the original design for it. And then Rick McBride, who's one of my co-founders, our tech support guy, he actually went ahead and updated it to make it look as professional as possible. So it was a teamwork with both him and Dalton. And the best part was it was actually free. So it was one of those lucky breaks that ended up happening. All I had to do was make sure he gets a T-shirt, which I'm still working on because I haven't ran into him for a while. It's a work in progress, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's the first thing that stood out to me was that logo. I'm like, man, I wish I need to put this on the thumbnail somewhere, and I was trying to fit it on the thumbnail and make it look pretty good, but I just couldn't make it work right. But yeah, it stood out to me. I'm like, man, that's a professional logo right there.
It's very awesome. I'm glad what they were able to do to help out and make that look good.
Yeah, that's sweet. It would look great, really good on a black T-shirt.
Oh, yeah. It does. I guarantee it. It does look good on a black T-shirt. So there you go.
Awesome. Is it real big on the back?
Actually, it is. I'll turn around and I'll show you guys.
Oh, man, I'm going to have to buy one of those, to be honest with you, if you have them for sale.
All right, give me 1 second.
No problem. Oh, yeah. See, I'm buying one of those. You got those for sale somewhere? You have those in the merch store somewhere?
So what I could do is just got to let me know what size you need, and I'll send it out to you. I just need your address. We'll make it work.
Okay, very good. Yeah, I got to have one of those. I'm a sucker for black T-shirts with cool logos on them.
Awesome. Great way to represent, right?
Oh, yeah. Very cool. Yep. So cool. How did you get into the paranormal world, man? Was it something from early childhood experience or? So
it happened actually in 2000 where I had my first experience in the paranormal. So out here in Utah, because that's where I'm from, there is an amusement park called Lagoon, which is in Farmington, Utah. And what the place is, it consists of rides. You've got a place called Pioneer Village, which has a lot of historical elements to it, including the buildings were part of the original Salt Lake area back in the 1800s. One night, as a games operator, I had the opportunity to work a game called Bonanza, which was a shooting gallery game. And all it was a light gun game. You shot at the item would move, make different motions and everything. Well, about 20 minutes before the game was shut down for the night, everything you shot at, including the items that weren't working, all came off at once, which was something I've never seen before. Being a fan of the park and being a coworker, I've never seen it before. So what I ended up doing is kind of sit there kind of stunned. I'm like, what in the heck's going on here? And then as soon as all of them stopped, I started hearing footsteps down this hallway that only employees can go through. So my first thought is, okay, it is a coworker coming to help shut the game down for the night. Let's go ahead and go greet him and everything. So as I walk down that hallway, I'm like, very funny, guys. That's a very funny joke. And it turned out that he wasn't there. There was no one there. And I ended up walking around the building, walked outside, nothing. So I was by myself. So it went from being scared to petrified. Finally, a supervisor showed up. I'm like, okay, this just happened. He's all like, it's a hydraulic system. It does that all the time, they say. But coming to find out, other people have experienced the same thing I did. And my buddy, Rick McBride, who is the co-founder, like I mentioned earlier, he even looked into this a little bit more, and there was no way it could have happened that way. So it's one of those bizarre moments. You're just like, what the heck just happened to me? Which led to a lot of questions. Okay, why did this happen? How? What? Where? When? And that's what really got me wanting to study this more. And then also there was another thing that kind of got me into this. And did you ever watch the old MTV show Fear, where they had the 6 college students go out to a haunted location and do these weird quests to win like $10,000 or something along those lines?
That sounds familiar. How long ago was that?
That was back in the 2000s, 2001, 2002. It's an
Yeah.
old show. It only lasted like a couple of seasons because of lawsuits and people getting hurt. They couldn't do it anymore. But I was watching it and I'm like, okay, I don't think I could do this on my own, but could I do it with a team? It really didn't happen until 2009, where my buddy Luke Dreyer and I started talking about it a little bit more. And we went and investigated our very first place, which was called Steeds Pond in Clearfield, Utah, which I'm about 3 to 4 minutes away from. We checked out that area, walked up this one alleyway that used to be the Denver Rio Grande Railroad. Now it's just a walkway for people to do their jogs and everything. And all of a sudden, we picked up a ghost train on one of our digital recorders, which is the most remarkable thing. There's no other way to explain it other than the fact that this is what's going on, even though you have a railroad system about a half a mile east of you that had nothing going on at the time.
Right. So that's what jump-started your whole... I mean, before that, you didn't have any interest or any experiences in the paranormal?
Before that, no. That was like the only one, and I've been studying it since then, trying to figure out, okay, what caused this? How did it happen? And just add a lot of questions. It's like, okay, we got to go out there and explore. Really.
Right. Wow, so that's interesting. When you were a kid, did you have any interest in like UFOs or Bigfoot or anything like that?
I think the biggest thing as a kid is the real Ghostbusters cartoon.
Oh, okay.
I grew up as a Ghostbusters fan from day one, from the movies to the cartoon. And watching that, I got excited. I had my own little proton pack. I had all the toys and everything. Loved the Ghostbusters to death. That kind of got me questioning some things too. But it really wasn't until 2000 when that experience happened. A lot of the other cases, I've heard stories like there was this building that my mom and my aunt went and cleaned one day. And there were stories about how there was some type of paranormal activity going on in the place. And it started with the phone, where it was, if it rang once, they're there. If it rang twice, they were gone. But they didn't really have anything else happen. But it did frighten me as a kid. It didn't until I started becoming an adult and really standing into this a little bit more, started looking into it a little bit more. The fright went away. And that's when I started like, okay, we got to get into this and see what more we can answer.
Right. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, most people, they have a little bit of an experience kind of when they're a kid, maybe like if they saw something, and that kind of like opens their mind up. So, but it sounds like you've always kind of had an open mind. You've always been pretty open-minded to that kind of thing.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a way to be skeptic, but you still have to have an open mind behind it.
Right, right. So when people are going into the paranormal, like with something like that happened to them, what kind of steps would you first take in order to like try to figure out what was going on, or like is one of the first things like to protect yourself as far as like making a what do they call that? Like when you're making a safe place and you're cleansing your room and stuff like that to do investigations. Is that what one of the first things you do, or?
So how it works for us, whenever we get a case, we'll set up a base camp, which normally would have a security camera system attached to it. So we have someone there watching it. There are people that will sage you at the beginning. There'll be people that will sage you at the end. We really don't sage at the beginning, but we do have different type of items. Like I do have a necklace that I wear. I've got stones that are with me at all times when I go into these investigations. I didn't before 2020, and it caused an incident where I had to start having it because there was a case that we were working on here in Taylorsville, Utah, where something attached to all of us. And what ended up happening is each of us had a different experience, which really frightened us. But the biggest one was mine, because we ended up going on a case 2 weeks later out in a place called Fielding-Gar Ranchers, right in the middle of the Great Salt Lake. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel like myself. Something was attached to me trying to possess me. And I didn't have any type of protection to ward it away. But my team was there, that I have a really experienced team that knows how to cleanse properly and do what they need to get the attachment away from me. So we were able to do that. But after that case, I was so drained, I realized, okay, I need to have protection from this moment forward. And ever since then, I've never left without my protection.
So going into that, what are some things that you can do to prepare yourself? Because a lot of people just go into this and they might go out and just buy a Ouija board or something in a garage sale, and they just start opening up portals and bringing energies into their houses and stuff like that. So what are some things that people really need to know before they get started with something like that?
My first thing is study history. I say that, and I was one of those kids that hated history in high school. But as I grown as an adult, I realized history is important like none other. So make sure you get some history behind the place that you're going into, whether it's a recent history of what's transpired, so you know what to do to protect your team and yourself. But in addition to look in the back history as much as possible, back as long as possible, is one of the first things I would do. Secondly, if you are into the paranormal, visit any one of these stores that carries gems, sage, to make sure that you have those on you at all times. So that way you're protecting yourself, and the gem will call you out. You won't be just like looking at gems and being like sitting there looking at it. The gem's going to call you out, and you're going to be like, okay, that's the one I need. Also, make sure you go with the experts to find out which one will protect you based off the case that you're working on. So that's another thing. And then third, and most importantly, and I can't stress this enough, don't trespass. Get permission to go to the property that you're going to. And the reason why I stress that enough is because if you're going into a place that you're trespassing, and let's say not just spiritually, but physically, safety is going to be an issue, you can get yourself into a lot of trouble, not just legally, but physical, where you can get hurt big time.
Yeah, for sure, man. I like the checking out the history of the place first, because that's a big tip, because you don't know what you're getting into until you kind of learn a little bit about the history, or the building that you're going into, as well as like who used to live there, and maybe some past deaths and stuff. There's a website I remember hearing about where you can type in an address. I think this might be like a paywall, behind a paywall, but I think you can type in an address and it'll tell you who's lived there, and if they've died on the property, or if anybody has died on that property. So yeah, as far as like looking into the history of the place that you're going to, that might be a tip that you could use. But
that's good. Good to know, actually.
Yeah.
It would be good for my historians that go through, maybe look into that a little more too. So I'm going to have to check that website out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's this place here in Michigan that AAP's Variety channel on YouTube brought to my attention. It's called the the Bath School Massacre, I think it's called, in Bath, Michigan. And that was one of the places that I was like, you know what? If I did some research before I went to this place, there's no way I would turn around right away. Because, it's like a school where this guy just went kind of crazy and loaded this truck up with a bunch of shrapnel and tons of metal and all kinds of stuff and a bunch of dynamite and blew up. Well, he tried to blow up the whole school with kids in it and stuff, but I think only like a third of the dynamite went off, or maybe a quarter of the dynamite went off. So it did kill him and I think like 40 kids or 40 people or something like that. It was a disaster of a story. So ever since he's been telling me that, or ever since he came on here and told me about that, it's been like in the back of my mind of a place that I definitely don't want to visit.
Well, the energy is probably going to be strong as ever with what happened there. And that's the one thing that would concern me too. That definitely you want to make sure that you're going to protect yourself in all cases. And also another tip I'm going to throw out too, cleanse at the end of the case, especially with that particular one, the Bath School Massacre.
Yeah.
If you don't cleanse yourself, you're definitely attracting something to bring you that comes home with you, and you don't want that.
Right. Yeah, man. So what are some things that you could do? So like if I end up going to this Bath Massacre place and he wants to do some metal detecting around the area, which is crazy, pretty kind of morbid to me. But if I did decide to go out there, what would be something I could take out? I mean, I've seen people have like those medicine bags, like my co-host Sonny has one, and like the medicine bags and like the sage. People burn sage. I've seen that too. So what are some other things like that I would have to do before I head out there, and then maybe something for like the ride home or something before I got in the car? What would be something that I would use to protect myself?
Best answer for that is make sure you have the right person that knows what type of sage to use, what type of medicine to use. That's the most important thing. I've got 3 different people on my team. Actually, no, I take that back. I have 4 people on my team. I've got Crystal, who's a Reiki specialist. I have got Sabrina, who's Wiccan, who also does really well with saging, every type of cleansing that you can think of. I have got Stephanie, who is a psychic medium, who's also a Reiki specialist. She knows what to do at any particular case that comes up our way. And then there's also Thomas, who's one of my lead researchers, who also does a very good job with cleansing. They know what cleansing that you're going to go with, because not every cleansing's the same. Okay. Sage works in certain ways, but it depends on the case. In a particular case like this one, you'd have to make sure one of those, or actually I would go with 2 of the 4 people, so they know what the experience is going to be like, and they will be able to help out tremendously. Let me pull this out real quick. So this is the gem I have. It's quartz.
Oh, sweet.
That's what I have around my neck whenever I go on a case. It seems to help me in making sure nothing is attracted to me. And that's just one of the items that you can bring. There's a multiple items out there that you could bring that I would highly suggest looking into one of those gem shops out in Michigan. See, and let them know, hey, I'm going to this place. What would you recommend? First thing they'll probably tell you is don't go.
Right.
They're going to be safe. They're going to be safe, because the paranormal is not something you really mess with. It's something that you got to make sure you understand before you go out there, because it's not like what you see on TV. But then they'll make sure you got the right items that you need.
Right. I'm glad that you brought up the TV aspect of things, because there is a huge difference between what you see on TV and what you see when you're out in when you're actually doing a ghost hunt or a paranormal investigation like that. So, what are some differences between what people see on TV and what actually goes down on a normal?
It's a good question.
Ghost hunt.
I love this question, and I hate to break it to a lot of people who are watching this right now. The thing about the TV programs, it's about ratings. So they are going to do a lot of things to get those ratings. So a lot of the stuff that they're doing, chances are not real, because it's about money. It's about bringing in the revenue. So it's about the ratings portion of it. Mm-hmm. A great example is this past December, I was at the Las Vegas Para-Unity Convention, and it featured TAPS, which is Jason Hawes. You had the Tennessee Rafe Chasers that were there. the Ghost Brothers that were out there, many different people that were a part of the TV shows that were out enjoying this. Granted, the Para-Uni convention had a bad thing to it, which I won't explain in the show, but you had an opportunity to talk to these guys. And I talked to Chris with Tennessee Wraith Chasers about an episode involving his brother that got possessed. And he talked about it. And apparently his brother did not want to do this at all because he did not like the idea or the concept of it. And he did it anyway, but he had an attitude behind it, which caused a lot of the reasons why he acted the way he did in the episode, which makes sense. It's all about ratings. It's something that tries to get your emotions intact for you to keep watching their shows. Best example, again, would be the Ghost Adventure show with Zach Bagans and his crew. They've been out to Utah on multiple occasions, and one place that they investigated was the Benson Grist Mill, which is out in Tooele, Utah, which is south from me, about 90 minutes or so. We went out there before they did, and a lot of things they were talking about were not even true. The only one that would make a lot of sense is the young girl that drowned, which we did not run into. But there were a lot of things that we did experience, they didn't, that I would say would still be good for TV. But at the same time, they're trying to get people to watch this show as much as possible. So that's the one thing you got to realize is they are going for ratings. That's their major goal. Not to mention everything you see in an hour, they probably spent a day or two at this location to gather as much information as possible. I compare ghost hunting or paranormal investigations to fishing. You put your equipment out, you sit there and wait for something to happen. You have to have patience in order to do it. If you don't have the patience, it's not the right fit for you.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. So the ones that you, or the investigations that you see on TV have a lot of filler in them and stuff like that. So, which makes sense because it has to sell, and each episode has to have the audience engaged. And so, yeah, some of the stuff that you see is just scripted. I mean, we hate to say scripted, but it does suck when that has to happen.
Are there any of the ghost shows that you do like, Chris, that are have any validity to them?
There really isn't any out there that have the way you answered it, but I would look at it as entertainment. I mean, I'm not telling you to stop watching them. It's for entertainment purposes. Yeah. And it's to have a good time. It's to have a good spook. Just sit at home, watch something, get a little scare. The way they handle it, it's just fine. I will point out, though, that when I was out in Vegas, I did get a chance to see the Zach Bagans Haunted Museum out there in Vegas. And I encourage everybody to go check it out. It's got a lot of historical facts. I can tell you the energy there is wild. There is all over the place with all the haunted artifacts he had. And it quite surprised me with some of the stuff he even had. He had a celebrity wing that had a bunch of different items. And one of the things that they had there was part of the car that killed James Dean. I think it was just the axle that they had in this one particular room. It was the first time they showed it off. And he's been trying to get most of the pieces of this car that happened to James Dean that killed him. And I was like, wow, that's rather impressive. And I think he has a tooth of Patrick Swayze in this building too.
What?
Very crazy.
A tooth of Patrick Swayze?
Some type of body part of Patrick Swayze. I think
we know somebody that would be very interested in that.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, yeah. And I think the one also thing, too, that kind of bothered me is he reenacted the entire bedroom set for the guy who owned the Bunny Ranch.
Oh, and wow.
It still has the stains on the bed. And it's
What's up, Sonny?
What's up, Sonny?
Craziest thing.
That's
Hi,
gross.
Sonny.
How's it going, guys?
Going good.
Chris?
Good, man.
Nice to meet you, man.
You're only 24 minutes late.
Yeah, I figured 5 minutes, 24 minutes was.
What's the difference?
Sound like he had a good excuse. So
Yeah,
I
was washing boobs.
Wow,
washing boobs.
Can't beat that.
Well, what can I say? I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, man. Hey, somebody, Ann Palmer wanted to know about Dead Files, and so did somebody else asked about Vash the Impaler. They both want to know if Death Files is any good. As far as
check them out. I know the Holster Files is actually a pretty good program. Dead Files is really good. Yeah, they're all. honestly, all of them have their own little niche to them that makes it really good. Some of my favorites, because going back to Spooky's question, some of my favorites include Portal to Hell with Jack Osborne. I love that one just because the enthusiasm that Jack brings into it is a lot of fun. Anything that involves haunted towns, anything that involves haunted towns with the Tennessee Wraith Chasers, I really like because they're a wholesome bunch of guys. And what you see on TV is what you get in person. And I'm trying to get them to come out to Utah to check out some places that not Ghost Adventures has ever seen before. And it would be really nice to have them out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as validity goes, they're probably all on the entertainment side. But as long as you just look at it as entertainment and not as like research, like you're not going to sit down and start taking notes on how to be a ghost investigator.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's understandable.
Absolutely. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, again, it's for entertainment purposes, like you guys mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad thing at all to have a great entertainment, but I wouldn't take notes. I wouldn't be watching video. It's bad enough that Asylum 49 in Tooele, Utah, another place that Ghost Adventures has been at, they will have ghost hunting classes, and it's a 5-week course. The first 3 weeks are nothing but watching Ghost Adventures. And I'm like, $100 and you're making me sit 3 weeks watching Ghost Adventures? You ain't learning anything from this. Sorry. You need a real ghost hunting group to tell you the truth, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So
what about, I like tech stuff. So what about equipment? What kind of equipment do you use, and what would you say is good to use, and what's something that people are using that doesn't really make any sense?
So if you're starting out in the paranormal, the very first thing I would recommend is, well, honestly, your cell phone is going to be the first thing that you could really use because it has stuff that you need, like a flashlight, has a digital recorder, has a camera on it. That will be fine. But if you're looking to really get into this in depth, digital recorder is going to be the first thing you want to buy. And they're not expensive. $40, you can get one at Target, and it works out just fine. That's what we've got are the Olympus digital recorders. Flashlight is a standard. You always want that. You can go with the headlamp as well, which I started with. Makes it where it's hands-free. Emetaph, who is our tech specialist, had these gloves that had a light on it, which freed up some space for you to have your hands and everything. I would also recommend either a digital camera, or if you can get a hold of it, a Polaroid camera. A Polaroid camera is going to give you the best film possible, but anything that is film camera that allows you to have negatives is one of the best things because the negatives are legit. You can't edit them or anything. So I encourage that for sure. Anything I would not recommend in a paranormal wise, I would stay away from any of the cell phone apps, with the exception of one, maybe two. And the reason why is they are for entertainment purposes only. You got to realize that the cell phone technology that's in there, anytime it's saying a name or anytime it's using something, it uses the data that you've used previously, whether you're talking to somebody, whether you've been on video, etc. It's going to use that to help make it feel as real as possible. They're mainly for entertainment purposes. The two apps that I would be as close to really use, there's one called the Necrophonic, which has some benefits to it. And I believe about 60% of what I'm hearing when it comes through. The other one is the Plasma Box, which the only time we used it, we had an experience the same night where I had my near possession. We had it near base camp, and it was saying a lot of things like telling us not to go into the buildings after the incident happened. And it was right because one of my other founders, Justin Vasquez, he went into the room to grab one of the video cameras that was set up in the ranch house. And he went in there and ended up getting vertigo because of it. So the spirits were trying to warn, no, don't go in there anymore. And something bad happened. So those are like the only two apps I would encourage to use. Okay. Otherwise, I'd stay away from all of them. Otherwise, we use the Melmeter. We've got an SLS camera. We've got walkie-talkies. We got like 3 or 4 digital recorders. We do have what is called a PX, which has worked out pretty well, although it does say for entertainment purposes on it, which a lot of the ghost hunting equipment you're going to have is going to say that for legal reasons. But it has worked for us before. And one of the great examples I can give for that is On our YouTube channel, we have a story that we did with KSL out here in Utah called Utah's Ghost Island, which features a story about us going out to Antelope Island's Field and Gar Ranch. Chris Black, who is another founder of ours, he's our lead analyst for evidence. He was using it during the day right before we started going out there, and he didn't have any protection. The moment I handed the PX to him, when it was turned on, it said, Chris, suffer. Later that night, he ended up getting a scratch mark on his arm during the investigation, and it was caught on film.
Ooh. Yeah, gotta have protection.
Yep. Always have protection, and he's one that should always have protection. I tell him that all the time.
Wow. Do spirits have like a, what do I want to say? Do they get upset when you kind of make fun of them, or if you kind of make fun of the I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Like if you go there and you're just making fun of the situation, or you're like kind of mocking them, do they have a negative reaction to that, or is that something that they don't really play off of?
Believe it or not, if you are disrespectful in any way, even in trying to provoke the spirits to do something, that's when you will have a reaction, and it's not one you want. In the most common thing that I've seen, and I've seen happen before, is the mocking of the Trinity, which is the 3 scratch marks. And I've seen that before. You don't ever do any type of disrespecting of the spirits. You always go in with a open heart, respectful, looking for answers. You don't ever mock them. You never do anything like that. I encourage not to do that.
Right. Yeah, it seems like that would be a thing that people would just know right off the bat, but sometimes people need to be told before they go out on an investigation.
Well, what's important is, I mentioned patience earlier. You got to have patience. I always tell people this: the paranormal works on its own time. It doesn't work when you want it. It's just how it is. It's got its own mindset. And when you are not being respectful to those spirits, they're going to antagonize you. You don't want to antagonize them at all. That whole entire experience where I had my nearby possession, which I mentioned a couple of times, because of that incident, it made it where they're like, no, we don't want to deal with you guys. You need to leave. And the moment we did not listen to them, they started attacking us, and that's a good sign. Okay, we got to go, guys. They're not happy.
Vash says, I have 2 kids, should have wore protection. Yeah, that's a different type of protection, but it's always good to stay protected. That's for sure.
Hey, I've got 4, but at the same time, I've got to say that I'm happy with the 4 I've got. They're a pain, but I love them. So,
that's awesome, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Priscilla Stone in the chat was wondering if you've ever investigated Waverly Hills or Bobby Mackey's in Kentucky.
They are on my bucket list. Unfortunately, with us, we've not gotten out of Utah yet to get into any investigations. We are working on it. The Waverly Hills one, though, I do want to bring up, because there is a situation going on with them concerning the ownership of the building with Charlie and Tina that I do need to address, because there's a situation where they put together this historical foundation or historical society to help with running the place. And the historical society kicked Charlie and Tina out and is trying to turn it into more than just a historical event place. They're trying to do whatever they can to get money, which is completely wrong. So if you haven't had a chance, look up Save Waverly Hills. It's definitely something to look into. I found out about this at the Para-Unity convention with Denise Pack and her team. And ever since then, my team has been trying to help as much as possible get the name out. Jason Hawes of TAPS has also brought attention to it, which has been getting a lot of publicity. So definitely check that out. But it is on my bucket list. Bobby Mackey's especially. I mean, if that's one Ghost Adventures episode that really caught my attention, it was that one, because the very first time they went out there, a lot of things happened. Again, entertainment value. But that one seemed a little more real than the entertainment side of it. And that's just how you work it.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, Jed, I'll be back again, guys. I'm sorry. I got to step away.
Oh, jeez. All right, Sonny. No
I
problem.
know, man. It's a busy morning.
Busy morning over there.
But I do love the question. Thank you very much for the question.
Awesome. Yeah, she says that she's in Kentucky if you end up there. Just let her know.
Sounds good, Priscilla. We'll make sure that happens because we love working with many different in paranormal groups, but different people want to work in the paranormal. We're more than welcome to work with them and learn from them. That's the cool part about it.
Rob Wood says, "What is TPOM? Excuse my ignorance. I'm sure it'll click when I see it."
TPOM. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I've never heard of it before. I'm going to be honest. Very first time I've heard that.
I don't know either.
I don't know either.
I'm going to have to look that up now. Thanks.
Have to do a quick Google search, I guess. TPOM. Huh, that's interesting.
Tennessee Prison Outreach Ministry is what comes up.
Oh. Sounds spooky.
That's the good thing about these podcasts. You learn something new every day. So I just learned something new today. Thank you very much. I love it.
Right.
Oh, it was more directed to you anyway, Chad.
Oh, it's third phase of moon. Okay, I'm sorry.
Oh!
Sorry, guys. I'm not awake yet.
Again, I just learned something new. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Yeah, it's a third phase of moon is a YouTube channel that they were just working on a documentary and it came out recently. So that's probably what they're talking about in the chat room.
No, I love that. That's something you always want to learn something new when it comes to the paranormal. I just learned that and I'm happy about that. Thank you, Diesel Girl. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Okay, so do you favorite outdoor investigations or indoor investigations?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Each of them have their own experiences, and some are going to be stronger than others. I don't mind either, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I could be in January in cold weather going out there investigating. I could be in the summer. It doesn't matter.
That's cool. Yeah, you just like being out there.
Exactly. The whole entire point.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a couple of places that you've investigated before that stand out? Like, do you that really gave you run for your money as far as spirits?
2. And the first one is going to be the Intermountain Indian School up in Brigham City, Utah, that most of the buildings are now officially gone. They've torn them down due to asbestos issues being really run down, decaying. They still have some of the buildings up that once turned into a furniture store and an antique shop, and the others have become apartments that they've restored. That particular place, we had one of our greatest pieces of evidence ever come out of. What happened was we had a Vivitar night vision camera, which was like $50 at Target. Something very small, very easy to use. First time we ever used it. And Chris Black's the one that's holding this. He pans through a doorway. At the time, we didn't see anything. But when we go back and review the evidence, we pick up a full body apparition of a World War II soldier, which was remarkable, something that not a lot of people have seen. And the ones that have seen it have been amazed by it. I think the best response I've got was from the Ghost Brothers. They looked at it and they're like, "Ooh, that's the devil. I'm not touching that," which was very funny for them to do. But showing this off to certain people, they're like, this is amazing evidence, probably the best piece of evidence I've ever seen, because you can actually see the full silhouette of the person. And it was just by accident. Now, a lot of times when you're studying the paranormal, you're going to pick up stuff by accident. And the second place would have to be Fielding-Gar Ranch out on Antelope Island here in Utah. Great Salt Lake is one of the greatest wonders of the world. However, it's kind of like every other lake. It's starting to lose a lot of water, drying out and everything. Mm-hmm. But the history of this particular place is one of the first places that the LDS Church settled at. And since they've had it open up, there's been a lot of different things that have happened, different families. There's a little bit of dark history that we're still trying to dig up. But one of the most memorable moments from this place is back in 2019 on Labor Day weekend, we were out there doing an overnight investigation. Approximately around 2-3 o'clock in the morning, Sabrina, who's our Wiccan, was doing a tarot reading to try to see if she can gather information based off the tarot. Mm-hmm. Based off of what her tarot was reading, one of Fielding-Gar's daughters married a gentleman by the name of Brother Stringham. That's really what I know about it. They had a lot of kids, and she was one of his 4 wives. Polygamy, you got to love it. But there was a ranch hand, apparently, that was messing around with one of the kids, and not a very good way from what we can see. When we brought this up, we started hearing motions in the bedroom coming out here. And then all of a sudden we heard a chuckle out loud that I did capture on digital recorder. But when I heard it, the hair on my arm stood right up, freaked me out because it's the first time I ever heard a chuckle out loud. I'm like, oh my God, the freaky as hell.
That's creepy.
Whoa.
Oh man. And the woods out there, let me tell you, we've had a lot of different things happen. We've had ghost tours out there before that we've held, and 2 patrons had the same scratch markings on both shoulders from that area. And one of them's actually now part of our team, Sam Arkey, that got the same scratch markings. We're like, what in the heck's going on? We ended up making it to the point where we had to make it where no one can go in the woods anymore because people were getting affected, people getting attacked. And that same night when that incident happened, we were in the barn getting things set up for a second presentation. And all of a sudden we start smelling smoke in the barn. We couldn't pinpoint where it was at. And the ranch manager, Carl Altridge, and his buddy were smelling it too. They ended up calling out the fire department to try to see what was going on. They could not find anything. And it was the scariest thing ever because we could not, there's no history talking about a fire or anything, but to smell smoke all of a sudden, it's rather odd.
Yeah. Is that something that you ran into before on other investigations where you've smelled different smells before?
Oh, it's a common thing. Even not even in an investigation where I was living with my parents back in 2011, in the middle of winter, we start smelling lilacs in the house. But we know, for instance, that my grandma Louise, who passed away in 2001 after September 11th happened, she was big into lilacs. So anytime her presence known, you could smell lilacs. It's a common thing where if you smell something like cigar smoke, cigarette smoke, lilacs, some type of plant in general, it is a sign that there could possibly be something there, especially the time of year when it's happening.
Mm-hmm. I've heard the connection between investigations like the ghost investigations like that and the smell of sulfur. Have you heard that before?
I've heard that before too. Have we had any cases where we've smelled sulfur before? I would not be surprised to say yes. I can't recall any though, because we've had so many, but I would say that's definitely something that can happen. And I'm actually, you bring up something interesting because there's another tool that I would highly encourage you bringing, and that's a carbon monoxide detector. Because the one thing about the paranormal is not everything is paranormal. And that's another thing I have to tell clients is not everything's paranormal. There are certain things you could debunk. If you're starting to feel sick in certain areas, the best thing to have with you is a carbon monoxide detector, because you can tell if there's high carbon monoxide. And if that's the case, you're getting to the point where it's not healthy anymore.
Right. Yeah. An oxygen meter would be nice too. See if depends on where you're going. I just started watching this this new show, Blinded Frog. What is it? Blinded Frog Ranch. Everyone in the chat's probably freaking out right now. I think it's called Blind Frog Ranch. And yeah, they're going into these caves to hunt for this gold or whatever the treasure is that they're looking for. And the whole time they're going in, I'm like, man, it just looks like there's no oxygen. It looks like they're going to run out of oxygen. Or
I know, right?
There's going to be some noxious gases in there. And they don't seem very worried about it. Like while I'm watching the show, I'm like, they either did some research before they shot this footage, or they're just dumb. Because, I don't know, it just seems like they're going in with just like some Dollar General oxygen meter and, yeah, not taking it too seriously.
Oh, yeah. You've got to be very careful with any type of atmosphere or gases that are in the area. And one of the reasons why I bring up the carbon monoxide detector is there was a case in Tooele that we went and just recently did. We're kind of looking into. I won't go much into it, but it was just one of those things where it was really unhealthy, the environment. Some certain things I was disgusted that we even got brought into to do this case. But that's one of the first things we thought of is, do we have a carbon monoxide detector? Which luckily Rick, who on his outside of his job, he's an HVAC specialist. So that's one of the tools that he uses, which, by the way, if you can get an HVAC specialist that wants to study the paranormal, bring him on your team. You're going to be happy you did. Rick is one of our biggest skeptics. And if he's experiencing something, you may have something because he can debunk a lot of the things. So I really appreciate what he brings to the team. But having that carbon monoxide detector can be really handy to have for whatever reason. But yeah, oxygen probably is another good thing you want to look for as well, too. And then in addition, a mel meter, $100 is one of the most important pieces of equipment you're going to have because it will read the milligas. It'll tell you the temperature change. And one of the reasons why they were able to tell I had something attached to me back in 2020 was because the mel meter read a lot of electricity building up around me, which I had nothing that would cause that to happen. So there's another couple of tools from an early question.
For sure. Fash the Impaler was wondering if you've ever tried ITC voices.
Something we've not tried yet, but it's something we're always willing to experiment because one thing with the paranormal, it is a lot about experimenting, trying new things to see what evidence you can gather. ITC voices is something that we're going to have to try. I appreciate it, Impaler.
Is it instrumental transcommunication?
I think so.
Okay. I've never heard of that before. I guess it could also be known as EVPs. Within ghost hunting, parapsychology, electronic voice phenomenon. Okay. Yeah, so is that like the spirit boxes? Is that what they're talking about there?
You know what? Sure. He could be talking about that, and I know we do have a couple of spirit boxes in our tech supply that we do use. For a lot of our team, they really like using it. For me, I'm not the biggest fan of it. And after years of trying it out, I just feel like whatever we're getting, I'm not sure if it's really answering the questions that we want or if it's the white noise that's just really bugging me as well. It's one of those things where I've not been a big fan of it. So if he's talking about spirit boxes, yeah, we have used spirit boxes before. We still use them to this day, and they have
Yeah, actually, the last guest we had was very science based, and he also thought that it was more of like the power of suggestion, maybe, and you're kind of just hearing what you want to hear or hearing answers to questions. Maybe you're even just waiting for the right word to pop out for the question that you had.
And the one thing I'll bring up too when it comes to tech is be very careful when you're using it. I've learned throughout the years that your best piece of equipment you can use is actually yourself, your body. If you start feeling ill, if you start feeling like you have a headache and you're in an area, that's one way you can tell if something is happening. Tech a lot of times can malfunction and not work as you want it to. And a great piece of advice I'm going to give is the SLS camera is a great example. Know what you're looking at and know how to use it before you start using it. It may be a cool piece of equipment because it brings up the stick figure and everything. But the one thing I've learned about the SLS is it will bring up a stick figure just on something that is not paranormal. And you can't define that as paranormal. You got to debunk it as, oh, it's just something like this. If you've got something going on where you're asking questions and it's responding, that's a different story. You may have some evidence there to back it up, but you can't always guarantee it. And like Art and Paranormal said, a lot of these apps are no good. I agree. A lot of the cell phone apps, stay away from them. I don't encourage them. For one, they're free. So you're not going to get what you pay for practically is what how I look at it. And number two, it's just like I said, the cell phone has many different sensors and stuff. It keeps a lot of data where it's going to use that data to kind of use in that case. And it's like, no, it's not going to work out that way. So I highly encourage stay away from cell phone apps.
Another thing too that I think about is like a cell phone wasn't around until 20 years ago. So and there's only so many sensors in it, and none of the sensors that are in a cell phone are built specifically for what you're using it for, as far as ghost hunting goes.
Exactly.
You have a couple speakers, a microphone or two, a gyroscope. Like some of the sensors that are in it, or all of the sensors that are in it, are not designed for what you're using it for as far as ghost hunting goes. So yeah, that makes sense that they're just kind of either getting your money right off the bat or they're filling the app with some ads. It's all kind of just for that purpose, it seems like. But even the ones that don't have any ads and maybe they're not going off the money, it still is very questionable as far as the accuracy. For that reason, that the sensor's the phone's not made for what you're trying to use it for.
Yep. Just remember common sense. Just remember common sense when it comes to this.
Mm-hmm. Common sense isn't so common these days, it seems like.
Sad but true.
Yeah.
I can't argue.
it's going away kind of quickly, it seems like.
Mm-hmm. It's almost as if you got to have our future generation have a common sense course before they go out into the real world to bring it back. I don't even know if that will work, honestly.
We almost need that taught in school nowadays, just common sense.
Well, I heard Florida's doing something that involves doing a class involves money, trying to save up and everything, which I think, why didn't I have that back in 2001?
Oh, that's what I need. Yeah. I needed that in school for sure. Like, don't get credit cards. Stay away from credit cards. That'd be a good
How to do your taxes
class. How to do your taxes.
Agreed. And Art and Paranormal, I'm looking at the chat right now. Common sense and respect when investigating. 100% agree to this. You got to have common sense. You got to have respect for the passed on, the unliving. You got to have respect for them because they've already had their hard life. A lot of them have done something historic in their lifetime. Thank them for what they've done. Thank them for their time. Whenever you go into an EVP session at the end of it, thank them for taking the time to use the energy that they have to answer your questions.
Mm-hmm. And Palmer was wondering, what do you think about automatic writings? Automatic writing.
So when it comes to automatic writing, a lot of it is based. I'm guessing she's going off of on some of the apps or some of the equipment out there. Again, common sense comes out of it. I've used a Novulus before. I've mentioned Amatef on multiple occasions. She's our paranormal tech. Comes from Brazil. She has worked with multiple paranormal groups. Loves working with us, and we love working with her. She owns this, and what it does, it brings up words that supposedly are spoken. Again, you have to realize what area you're in. So if you're seeing milk come up all the time, no, that's not paranormal. It's just popping up the words. If you're in an area that's known for having murders, that's a good possibility. It comes down to common sense. You can't believe everything that you see. It's like the internet. You can't believe everything you're reading.
Right.
So that's how I look at it.
Mm-hmm. So what's your favorite investigation that you've been on so far as like excitement?
I would have to say Fielding-Gar Ranch has got to be one of our best ones and one of my favorite ones because every time we've gone there, the activity's been different. So we think there's an actual portal out there that is causing all these different things to happen. So you're not getting the same thing twice, which is phenomenal. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you, Arden Paranormal, for sharing our Facebook page. I really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Arden. That's awesome. Appreciate you doing that. She's always really good with dropping links in the chat room, supporting the guests, so I appreciate that.
We're pretty good about answering all your questions. If you guys email us or talk to us, we're pretty good about it. 9 times out of 10, it's coming to me, and I automatically will try to make sure to answer you guys.
For sure. Oh, okay. Ann says that the Holzer Files has Cindy, a psychic who also does the writing. Oh, the automatic writing? Okay.
So part of that, I feel it's 50-50 on the realism to it. I will never disrespect a psychic medium on what they're doing because of what they're experiencing. We've got one of the best underrated psychic mediums in Stephanie Cohen. She has her own thing on Facebook called Stephanie's Tarot Readings. Go check it out if you have the opportunity to. But what a psychic medium's dealing with, I don't always question unless there's something that makes me want to question it. Stephanie is one of the only psychic mediums I've ever dealt with that I've never questioned anything she's said. I've trusted her since the first time I've met her. And as for the writings with Sydney, for instance, if it's a real case, I could see that being truthful to what she's doing and what she's seeing. For TV, it's kind of hard. Again, it comes back to that entertainment purposes. She could be doing that just for entertainment purposes. But I won't question a lot of the things that she does.
Yeah, that's the thing is until you experience it yourself or until you find proof of going against what somebody says, like hard proof about, that disproves what they're saying, you kind of have to just be open-minded and take everything with a grain of salt. And yeah, it's definitely advisable to not disrespect anyone in this community because whether they have the powers that they claim to have or not, it's probably best to just believe that they do or err on the side of caution for sure.
Yeah. It's difficult, unfortunately, when it comes to the paranormal, what to believe and what not to believe. I will say this, for what entertainment is out there when it comes to the TV shows, enjoy them, have a good time. I tend not to question what they do, but based off the experiences that I've seen and listened to, I have the honest belief that some of this is not real, that what they're doing, but I still respect what they do because 9 times out of 10, they did this and they do the real portion of it for what you don't see. In the end, it's for TV purposes. That's entertainment for you.
Yeah, for sure. Have you ever seen a link between the paranormal and, well, actually, I guess this would be paranormal, but have you seen a link between ghosts and cryptids?
Very good question. When it comes to anything that involves the paranormal, when it comes to spirits and ghosts, when it comes to UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrials, cryptics, for instance, it all falls into the paranormal. It's just in different categories. With us, we focus more on the spiritual side of things, but we always listen to the other things when it comes to UFOs and extraterrestrials. Cryptics is another great example. Like, for instance, when it comes to the whole entire thing with extraterrestrials, I do believe they're out there. I do believe there are UFOs or UAPs, excuse me. And the reason why I feel that way is because we live in a gigantic universe. There is no way Earth is the only place that has life.
Right.
It's nearly impossible in my book to believe that, Yep. So that's kind of how I kind of look at it. But if you're going to ask me about Bigfoot, I'm going to be honest. Do I believe in the theory of Bigfoot? Yes. I believe there's a possibility of a creature out there that's walking the earth that some people have seen, some people have not. And I believe that's a possibility. The biggest problem I have with Bigfoot is I've not seen enough data or evidence to back it up. I have not one has been captured to have like skin cells, teeth, some type of proof,
Right, yeah.
There are people out there that will post pictures of Bigfoot and you want to believe it, but a lot of photography these days can be altered. And unless you have the negative files from an actual camera, not from a digital camera, but the negative files to show it, it's kind of hard to believe. And I laugh because I remember one day hearing somebody say that if I ever ran into Bigfoot and I had a gun on me, I'd shoot him. I'm like, no, you wouldn't.
Oh, no.
You'd be run scared half to death because it's the first time you ever seen it. Your fear factor is going to come in. And you're like, I'm running.
Yeah.
Then you see the second time, there's a good possibility that it can happen. But until I see more evidence to prove that Bigfoot exists, I can only believe the theory. I don't believe Bigfoot exists.
Everyone always seems like they always act like they're gonna, as soon as they see a Bigfoot, oh, I'm just gonna pull out my gun and it's gonna be it. I'm gonna have the proof after that because I'm gonna shoot them. It's like, no, dude, if you actually ran into a 12-foot beast, you're not gonna think to pull a gun out and shoot him with your little 9mm.
One or two things are going to happen. One, you're going to run. Okay, no, there's going to be 3 things that are going to happen. One, you're going to run. 2, you're going to be scared so bad you're going to crap yourself.
Yeah.
Or 3, you're going to die because the 12-foot beast is not going to be. Yeah, like Freak Gate said, I'm crap my pants and run. Yeah, it's exactly what's going to happen. I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're paralyzed and crapping yourself.
Paralyzed in fear. Yeah, there is no way you're going to sit there and have the thought process.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Bigfoot. Shoot. No, you're going to run. The second time, you may have a better chance, but you don't know what's going to kill Bigfoot with how big he is. You're going to probably have to have some type of elephant bullets or something.
Yeah. And like everyone says too, when they see stuff like this, a lot of people, 95% of the time, freeze and they can't move. A lot of the people that we talk to, they'll say that they were just paralyzed and they couldn't move. So, I mean, there's people that'll even say like they could move their eyes and they had like they wanted to talk or run and scream, but they just couldn't. They're kind. It's almost like the phenomenon was making them just take it all in, like keep their eyes open and focus on what was happening to retain the information.
Oh yeah, and I'm not saying people that are telling me this are liars. I when it comes to the paranormal, I will believe what they say because they've experienced it before. Unfortunately, without having the data to back it up, it's kind of hard to be like, okay, you've seen it. That's awesome. I need data. I need proof,
Yeah.
I mean, if you go into a court of law and they said that you killed somebody, unless you have the proof, you are innocent until proven guilty. In a case like this, when it comes to Bigfoot, yeah, if you've seen him, awesome. That's fantastic. Tell me more about it. Do you have any proof to back it up? And if you don't have the proof, I kind of have a hard time believing it.
Anthony, Unidentified S4 says, I have an epic video I took on my TikTok of Bigfoot screaming while I chopped wood in Pennsylvania. Yeah, see, even if you didn't know what that was, or I mean, if you're just out in the woods chopping wood and everything's peaceful and quiet and you just hear anything scream, yeah, your first thing that's going to come to mind is like some type of Bigfoot or some kind of animal that's coming for you.
Well, I do know for a fact that Rick, I bring up Rick's name again because there was a audio that we listened to from some kid that we did an investigation for back in January of 2020. And he said he thought it was Bigfoot. When you listen to it closely, it could be falsified because it could be mistaken as Bigfoot. It could be a fox screaming. Because if you've ever heard a fox scream, it's wild, like unbelievable. But it can be mistaken for another animal. And it's one of those things, again, it comes down to the evidence behind it. If there has ever been a Bigfoot captured and they've got video and audio evidence to back it up, seeing this capture and hearing the voices, then you could start saying, oh, yeah, this is a possibility that it's a Bigfoot. My mom, who's a Bigfoot enthusiast, I love her to death, and if she's ever ran into a Bigfoot, I probably believe her as well. Again, evidence comes down to it. She believes she's heard a Bigfoot down in southern Utah. Okay. Do you have the audio evidence or the proof? So let us listen to it. No. Okay. I believe you, but I got to also not believe, But at the same time, for anybody who's listening and watching that believes in Bigfoot, I don't discourage you at all from what you believe or heard. Again, you experienced it. The other people haven't. It's your experience that you'll never forget.
Right. I mean, that's kind of where I am. Like most of the people know that listen to this, I'm yet to have like any type of like mind-blowing experience with any of this kind of stuff. I'm kind of just here soaking up as much information as I can, trying to figure all this stuff out. But I'm the same way. Like I haven't had anything happen to me, so I'm just taking everyone's word for it at this point. And I don't know what episode we're on right now, but most of the people we've talked to are paranormal investigators or have something to do with the paranormal or cryptids or something like that. And I can't sit here and call everyone crazy because everyone seems very genuine and has the stories to back it up and stuff like that. So I'm not going to sit here and say that somebody's experience was wrong or that was illegitimate just because I didn't experience it.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
otherwise we'll just be closed-minded and not move anywhere. You have to have an open mind for sure.
Exactly. And I will never ridicule anybody for their experience just because it's what they experience. It's what they happen. One of the reasons why we help out everybody that we do is because they had an experience and they want answers behind it. We will go in skeptic, but we will still believe them because they're the ones that experienced it. But being skeptic is also very important when it comes to the paranormal because not everything is paranormal and people forget about that. Like if a door opens on its own, did you check the frame of the door? Did you check the handle? Did you check the hinges? Did you check all that stuff beforehand saying it's paranormal? And the answer is chances are they didn't. And we go in there and look, okay, so here's the reason why the door opened on its own. But if the door opens on its own and everything seems legit, okay, you may have an explanation to what happened. So you want something there to kind of keep an eye on it.
Yeah. Angels was wondering, why do you believe that if people had the proof of Sasquatch, they'd refuse to release their evidences?
That's actually a very good question, Angel. I think the reason why a lot of people would not want to release the evidence is they feel they'll be ridiculed saying, oh, it's fake.
Yeah.
Because you get a lot of skeptics out there that are going to just right off the bat, oh, this is not real. Oh, this is not fake. This is fake. We had a lot of people that commented on the episodes that we were on for Fox 13's Good Day Utah, The Place, as well as KSL's news story that we did for Utah's Ghost Island. And a lot of them were ridiculing us because of what we were doing. You take a look at it as a grain of salt and you move on. Don't make a big deal about it. You don't get offended by it. You realize not everybody's going to believe what you see. For those who have seen Bigfoot, they tend to have, if they've got some proof that it exists, it should be shown. You're going to get ridiculed for it, though, regardless. It's just the nature of the beast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've definitely met new friends on here just through this podcast that they've multiple times have said, I've never told anybody this. And most people, some people will say, like, if I share any of this information with my friends or my family, I'll be ridiculed and they wouldn't believe me. So sometimes this is like the only community that people feel safe to share that kind of stuff with.
Mm-hmm. It's true. And I think with being in the paranormal, you have to have an open mind first and foremost, a skeptic mind as well, too. So it's 50-50, open and skeptic. If you're a fully skeptic, that's also not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing that can come in handy, because if you're skeptic and you're on my team, for instance, you may have an answer that we didn't look at in the first place. And if that's the case, I love it. In fact, I'm going to say right now, it's funner to debunk something than actually picking up evidence, because you found something that there was something happened, but then you have an answer behind it. And if you got an answer for it, chances are it's not paranormal. But it's still great when you pick up some of these most incredible pieces of footage that you've ever seen before, too. But when you have a client that's a skeptic and you discover something that they never seen before, it opens their eyes quite a bit. But you've also got to be very careful, because in the end, a skeptic will always be a skeptic. But if you open their eyes to believe it's paranormal, one of two things could happen. Either A, they're going to be like, okay, cool, I had my first paranormal experience. Or B, they're going to believe it more than ever, and it's going to affect their lives.
For sure, yeah.
We actually had a case. I apologize.
No,
we had a case in Taylorsville, the one I mentioned before that we got our attachments and everything. The woman of the house was a skeptic, first and foremost. But when this stuff started happening, she was trying everything and anything to get the evidence to back it up. She was trying to find it. That was not a good thing at all for her to do, because it ended up causing her sleep paralysis. She kept on sleepwalking, and the stress of her work wasn't helping either. It was not a good thing at all.
Oh, wow. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't sound cool. You said you haven't really done too much investigation or investigating outside of Utah?
That is correct.
Okay.
We're working on it. It's one of those things of getting our name out there.
Yeah.
One of the things about in the paranormal that a lot of people don't talk about is funding. We are nonprofit. Most of the funding comes out of our pocket as a team, and gas prices are going to be one of the majority things that affects everything. And not to mention, if you're flying to another state, for instance, your equipment. Can your equipment go? Now, a lot of the stuff involves batteries. They may not even let it go. So the only way to really travel is by vehicle in this case, not flying. Maybe by train, they might allow it. You never know. But it's driving is a lot of the case of it. Not to mention, we've been around for 5 years, and Utah's starting to know us quite a bit. But people outside of Utah are starting to know us a little bit more. And we're just trying to gather cases that we can go out to. One that we've been trying to do is this hotel in Nebraska that we heard about from Crystal, one of our team members who's also a Reiki specialist. Her uncle owns the place, and there's been activity. We've been trying to go out there since 2020, but financial means have been one of the biggest challenges when it comes to it.
So just staying in the United States, what would be your top location? You know, if somebody gave you all the money that you needed and all the funding, everything that you needed, where would you go for investigating?
3 places. 2 of them were already mentioned on this show. Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Bobby Mackey's, both in Kentucky, and probably the biggest one would have to be Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, yeah.
Gettysburg, with all the things that happened during the Civil War. I've heard stories, I've heard video. A good friend of mine, Marcus Hardy, who does ghost hopping here in Utah, he went out to Gettysburg a while back, and they got video evidence of cannons being shot, but no record of them being shot during that time. Because I think they'll do little presentations here and there at Gettysburg, and I could be wrong, that they will shoot cannons off. But the residual energy of the cannons going off is quite remarkable that I'd love to experience that.
Oh, yeah, and I don't think that's really that far from me either. But, yeah, that's definitely one of the places that I'd like to check out, just for the historical aspect of it. You know, I don't think I would go there with any kind of paranormal investigating goals, you know, because I've never done that. And I feel like if I just started out with Gettysburg, it's kind of like starting all the way at the top. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I would definitely go there just to be there and just to take in the sights and the sounds and learn as much as I can while I was there.
Mm-hmm. And I think one of the reasons why those 3 places stand out is the curiosity. I mean, a lot of TV shows have gone out to these places, yeah, and entertainment, again, we brought that up on multiple occasions, but the curiosity comes up too. What can you experience? Because you may experience something no one else has ever experienced, and you may get the evidence to back it up, which is going to be the coolest thing in the world. But personal experiences at these places have got to be just amazing. I'd love to hear all of them.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was just out with AAP's Variety Channel right here in the chat room, Luke and Rebecca. Bam! I was just out with them this past weekend for a YouTube meetup here in southern Michigan, where we hung out on a very cold and windy day, by the way. Very cold and windy. But we made it happen, and we did some metal detecting and some magnet fishing. Actually, now that I think about it, I never got involved with the magnet fishing. I'm going to have to go back out again. But yeah, we had like 2 different groups, a magnet fishing group, and then me and Jake and Luke, we were all doing some metal detecting. And I was wondering if I was going to find any kind of shotgun slug or any kind of bullet like that, because the field that we were on kind of felt like it could have been part of a battlefield at one point. So yeah, it's just stuff like that where I don't know if I would do too much investigating, but if I got my hands on a metal detector, I'd be all over Gettysburg with a metal detector.
I think metal detector is one of the more useful items that you can actually use in an investigation, because you don't know what you're going to gather. And I think that's remarkable. I know Chris Black has one for our team, and he went out to Steed's Pond in Clearfield one night before we went out there to investigate. He was going to actually use it to see if he could pick up anything. Unfortunately, didn't get a chance to due to weather reasons, but it's definitely an awesome tool to have, I'll be honest.
Oh, it's so much fun too. And the magnet fishing, we weren't even out there very long. It was like an hour maybe, Luke, I think. Out there for about an hour or so, and one of the people doing magnet fishing pulled up a pair of handcuff keys, and they looked pretty old. It was a pair of handcuff keys with like a old-fashioned key ring, and then it was like a cloth tether was tied to the key ring, and it looked pretty old because the keys were not stamped keys, like they weren't cheap. They looked like they were forged keys. So yeah, and that was just with a magnet with a rope tied to it. You know, that's just something that anybody could do in their spare time.
So let me ask this question real quick, if you don't mind. When you find these items, are you guys leaving them there, or are you taking them with you?
Oh no, we took them with us.
Probably not the best idea, I'm going to be honest.
You know, somebody told me that earlier because I brought something home. I thought it was sitting right here, and now I can't find it. It's probably
You wanted a souvenir.
Haunted.
Oh yeah, let me tell you why you don't bring stuff like that. Is
Yeah,
it is I have studied a little bit to know that there is items out there that will have an attachment with it.
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will get these from like yard sales, estate sales, thrift shops, for instance, or just find them in the wild. And if it's an area that's got activity attached to it and you find
Yeah, I bring it all home, he says.
all right, tell me where you live. We need to check out your place for activity.
Oh,
But no,
dude, his place has activity.
I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, if you do bring something home like that, there is a good chance you're bringing the energy with it that is going to affect your home. There's no question. Like that Indian school that we talked about, there were still some bricks laying from there, and Chris wanted to bring them home, and I'm like, no, you are leaving them there. Do not do that. You're going to be bringing something home.
Civil War relics.
Wicked.
Oh, man. Yeah,
Oh,
actually,
yeah. He's got activity. He's got activity.
yeah, man. Actually, his house has activity. His house has an older lady that was a past that actually owned the house before he did. I believe so. That's what I picked up on. And he talks to her all the time. Actually, through an app on his phone he uses that. He said that his friend actually developed this app, and the app has 0 word bank. There's no words in the app or whatever. So when you use it, anything that comes through is either gibberish. It's supposed to be gibberish. So if you can pick up anything out of it, and he's got a video of him talking to the lady that lived in the house before him. And so yeah, his house has some activity. The Miracle Box, that's right. There it is.
There you go.
Yeah, it's pretty spooky over there. The whole time he's telling me about it, I'm like, so the house that we're in right now, huh? Huh. I didn't bring any sage with me.
Yeah, definitely make sure you cleanse it. And it's one of the questions we actually ask our clients is if you've bought anything recently from a yard sale, estate sale, and 9 times out of 10 they do. We can't say it's the reason why the activity's happening, but it's funny because recently we just had a case this past Saturday. I actually wasn't a part of, first time in a while, but we had 3 team members that were there, including our videographer, which will be on YouTube. So you'll get to see this case. But they have a family heirloom. It's a bed frame that was a part of the family for generations. And what happened was the daughter sent us a picture of, I cannot lie, it's one of the most amazing pieces of evidence I've ever seen in my entire life from just one of the security cameras in the home. But it's a picture of a lady, silhouette of a lady, looks like a witch first and foremost, which freaked me out. And we had our team look at it, even Rick, and he's like, it's not human. So we know we had something there. So we definitely looked into this. And from my understanding, they had a lot of activity happen that night they went out, and it was quite remarkable what they were able to gather. So I'm looking forward to listening to the evidence and seeing what we can get for this family that had us come out.
Absolutely. Yeah, Randall said that his buddy bought and lived in one of the first houses in Ecorse, Michigan. He did a history check on the house, and apparently that's where elites came to cannibalize Indians. Talk about some paranormal activity.
Yeah, Randall, I'd love to hear some stories of what you guys have experienced in that place. That's got to be incredible.
Yeah, that's freaky. It's not too far from me, actually. Go look into the Witch of Ecorse. Oh, man. You're giving me some more Michigan stuff to check out.
Witch of Ecorse. I've got to look at this too. So I'm typing that in my notes.
Yeah, me too. Witch of Ecorse. All right. Motown Witch. Yeah, I'll have to check that out, man. I don't know why I haven't heard of that before.
Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it.
The Witch of Ecorse. Yeah, that's not too far from me. Ecorse. Probably about a half hour, I would say.
Ecorse is a town?
Yep. Yeah, Ecorse, Michigan. He also said that we were in an Indian village that was in the 1600s. It's not there anymore, and we found an Indian arrowhead, and me and my friend knew not to take it. Yeah, and Spooky asked him where that was, and he said Monroe, Michigan, and it's also not too far from me. It's 45 minutes or so,
Nice.
And that was the site of a pretty major battle in Michigan, so...
Very
yeah,
nice.
I definitely wouldn't take anything out of the ground.
Sounds like
there.
some good day trips for you and Jake, man. Check out some of those sites.
Yeah, me and Jake got to head over there and meet Randall.
Yep.
Very nice.
It's amazing how many people you meet in this community. Just they're so local.
Oh, absolutely. It's amazing. I just walking around Utah, because I'll have my shirt on and people will ask, is that shirt, are you a part of that group or is that just a t-shirt you bought? I'm like, I'm the founding organizer. Here's a business card. So
That's awesome.
Definitely, if you haven't had a chance to check us out, I'm going to put this business card up. But that's right there. That QR code goes right to our website. So you're welcome to check that out and go to our website. And if you don't have the QR code, it's just wasparanormal.org. It's linked to, yep. It's linked to our Facebook page. It's linked to our YouTube channel. Go and check it out. And shout out to John Marchetti, our videographer. He's also in charge of our website. He does an amazing job on that.
Awesome. WASP. So it's 2 P's, right? wasparanormal.org.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And I'll put that in a scrolling thing at the bottom so that.
How about on your socials, Chris? Is there any thing that we should check out? Any videos or anything that you'd recommend? Your favorites?
So on our Facebook, or excuse me, on our YouTube channel, we do have tips that we give out to people, and make sure you check those out, especially if you're a getting into the paranormal. Check those out. It will help you out tremendously. I can't guarantee everything's going to help you, but find the ones that's going to help benefit you when you study on the paranormal. And then the place that I mentioned, Fielding Gar Ranch, we've got video up there. And one of the most amazing things that I'm still trying to figure out how this happened was it was me and my buddy Luke who went out into the woods, and we saw this one leaf that was flapping all over the place. If you look at the wind, there was no wind that night, or if it was so calm, it wouldn't cause that motion. You'd look at everything else. Everything else was fine, but that one leaf just kept on moving. And anytime we'd put our hand to it, it would attract to it. So it's something electrical. We could not figure out what the heck it was. It was rather interesting. And I still don't think we ever found out what happened, because we've been out there multiple times and nothing ever moved ever again like that. Incredibly creepy.
Some type of like a magnetic anomaly or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I can't say anything other than that. It was quite impressive. But yeah, check out what we've got there. We've had a couple of our cases go on there. And I do apologize. It's part 1 for Fielding Gar Ranch. We haven't gone to part 2 yet, because being part of the paranormal, you still have daytime jobs. We still got families. And our rule is family and jobs will always come first before the paranormal group. It just is what it is, because we're not making money off of this. That's not the goal of it. But when we can go out and do these things, we're going to go out there and do it and have a great time. So we're still working on a lot of more things, but we're getting it out as quickly as possible.
Awesome, man. What about what do you think about the stuff going on out there at what's that ranch?
Skinwalker Ranch.
Skinwalker Ranch. What do you think about the stuff that's going on out there?
Well, let me put it this way. It is number 1 on my bucket list. I've actually reached out to the owner, Brandon Fugel,
cool.
a couple of years ago to see if we could get out there. So what's going on, for anybody who doesn't know, History Channel's got a show called The Secrets of Skinwalker Ranch that they filmed 2 seasons for, and I think they're still on season 3. So they're doing a lot of scientific study of what's going on at this place. Now, we got to bring it up again. It is TV, so a lot of the stuff may be elemented for TV, for ratings. But there's certain things out there that have caught my attention that I am curious about. The cow mutilations bring up a very interesting point. There is Homestead 1, which is an old building that's deteriorated. I've always been curious about what the activities going on out there and what's causing it. That place has got so many questions that I actually want to go out there and try to debunk more of it than gather evidence. But if we were to gather some quite amazing evidence for that place, it would be probably some of the coolest things you'd ever see. But there's a lot of question to what's going on out on that ranch. I noticed Arden Paranormal. I got to say, you're awesome, by the way, Arden. I need to talk to you more about your stuff in the paranormal. It's amazing.
She sure is.
Yeah, she's awesome.
But she did say there's a lot of controversy on what is happening at Skinwalker Ranch. I do agree with. There's a lot of history about them doing a lot of research when Bigelow owned the ranch, and none of it has been released. for whether
Exactly.
it's government reason or whether it's his reason. You never know. It could be reason for trying to get money, which
I don't
a
think
lot
we've
of-
seen the best that Skinwalker Ranch has provided so far over the years.
you know, you're absolutely right, Spooky. I think there's more to it than meets the eye that a lot of people don't realize. It's very
Yeah.
protected. It's very guarded. So I highly encourage, do not try to trespass. Chances are you'll probably get shot.
Oh no! Don't
I'm
ever
not
try
gonna-
to trespass.
No, never. And I'll tell you right now, yeah, don't ever trespass. It is a safety concern. There is legal reasons behind it. There is spiritual reasons behind it, and there's physical reasons. I mean, you could get hurt, you could go to jail and face a fine, but you could also have an attachment that, you don't want that. So always try to make sure do not trespass. I highly encourage it. And another thing too, you mentioned Ouija boards earlier in the show. Our group does not even touch Ouija boards. We stay away from them. And the reason why is I think you have to be kind of trained to use it so you know how to open and close portals. My team has never really experimented with them. I know Chris Black's had his uncle and his mom who played with one in the bottom of his grandpa's basement, and activity has happened ever since then because they never shut the portal. So I don't trust them as much, but there's been fact that some of the tools that you use are kind of like a Ouija board where you open it up and don't close it and more activity happens, which can happen. I agree.
Oh man.
Oh, Matt, I just want to say I'm sorry that you have to.
Same here, Matt.
Put your
I'm very
dog
sorry
down,
to hear
bro.
that. I've had to do that before, man. Hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
Best friend for 14 years. Yeah, dude. Anytime you got to say goodbye to a dog, it's one of the worst days.
Trust me, I've had 3 in my life that ever since that happened, it breaks my heart.
We love you, brother Matt.
Yes, it breaks my
Yeah,
heart.
man.
I'm into tears.
We're with you, man.
It's a family member. A pet of any type is a family member in the end. So you're losing family when you do that. So
It's the most unconditional love you'll ever receive in your life.
my condolences, man. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, dude, I just watched a video of a dog that was reunited with his owner in Ukraine after a couple months of not being with them, and it's a crazy video. You're like, man, dogs are really we don't really deserve them. It seems like we don't deserve them. They're just so cool.
In fact, Chris Black just recently had to put down one of his cats that he's had for 15 years, and it broke his heart too. So losing an animal family member is one of the most difficult things out there. And you're absolutely right. We don't deserve a lot of these animals that we have in our lives. They're truly unconditional love is amazing.
Speaking of animals and pets, what do you think about animal spirit?
That's where I was going to.
It's funny you bring that because my game cave in here, for instance, I know there's a bunny that hops around here that's a spirit. It's our old bunny Sparkles that we got for my daughter that ended up passing away after having it for 7 months. And we know it's here because one of the things I do believe is animals can sense spirits just like children can. And our cat, Mac, will always want to come in here and try to search for her. And there's times he'll hop on my desk trying to get her because she's all over the place. So I guarantee you animal spirits do happen. And I can confirm it just because of my experiences here with Sparkles the bunny.
Yeah. Sparkles the bunny. That's interesting.
So, yeah.
Oh, no problem, Matt. Absolutely, man. And we'll try to keep your mind off of it as long as we can, man. Yeah, it sucks. The thing is I want to go get another dog, but every time I think about having to say goodbye to him, it's like, man, do I really want to put myself through that again? But if it's just a couple days that you have to deal with it, and then you still get like 10 or 12 years, good years.
When we had to say goodbye to our golden retriever, I said never, ever, ever would I have another pet because I could never want to go through that pain. And they brought home the perfect German Shepherd, and she changed our lives, man. So whenever I think I'll never do it again, I remember that love that they bring is unbelievable. When they say man's best friend, man, they hit it on the knob with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
and it's almost like they can sense that you're upset about a previous pet. So bringing in a new pet can definitely help, So keep that in mind, Matt. I know it's going to be tough to, nobody's ever going to replace that dog, but
it's hard to hear that when it's happening. When people say get another pet,
go get another
but
one.
It is amazing advice because it changed and helped us so much.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Oh, that's a good way to put it, Connor. The goodbye is worth all the good mornings and good nights.
Yeah. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with it.
Oh, wow. Your service dog was only 7. Her pancreas failed. She died in my arms. My heart will be forever broken.
God.
Wow. That's amazing, man. That sucks.
Yeah.
Hi, Sonny. Welcome back.
Hey, Sonny.
We're talking. Oh, you're muted, bud.
What's going on, guys? I made it back again.
We're just talking about how awesome dogs are. How awesome our
I was
pets are.
listening. I was listening to the show.
Oh, okay, cool. What does Randall have to say here? Randall's typing a whole book. I'm not paying attention to you, man. What are you saying here? I'm tripping on mushrooms many years ago, and I'm sitting in a room with all my friends. It's full of smoke, and all of a sudden I see an orb cutting through the smoke. A face appeared, and the cat saw it. It looked at me like, how the F are you seeing me? It wasn't an evil face, but then when it looked at me and then looked at the cat, it turned into an orb again and shot. Then the cat chased it. What? That sounds crazy. That was a hell of an experience you had. So confused. Yeah, so have you ever seen an orb before?
So when it comes to orbs, one of the things that we try to stay away from is that term. Because orbs are, how would I... Yeah, it must have been good shrooms. I totally agree, Arden. I think orbs are one of the most controversial pieces of paranormal out there because it gets mistaken a lot when it could be a bug flying in the air. It could be just a light or just a light source coming from your camera. It could be dust, dirt, things along those lines. But when it comes to it, I've never seen one out in public, but we've got plenty of video to show that there are certain anomalies out there that do happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say in real life, in just with my vision alone, no. But in video evidence, I would say we've got a couple, yeah.
So you've caught some stuff in with video that you can't really explain. I mean, it doesn't look like just dust.
Yeah, and there's a way you could tell if it's dust or if it's a bug. Just the way the tracking goes and everything, the color of it has something to do with it. But yeah, I'm not gonna lie. One of the things when you get a picture of people saying, "Oh, I saw all these great orbs," and it's just a room full of dust coming down, and it's like, dude, I'm sorry to break your heart. It's dust. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a ghost. It's not spiritual at all. But there are anomalies out there that I will say that I have seen before. I can confirm has some merit to it.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about orbs is they look exactly like dust.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to pay attention to like the color, like you said, the color. And then one of the guests that we've had on here before said that a real orb will emit its own light. So if it's moving through the room and there's like a glow around it and it obviously makes like a glow off of the wall or something as it moves, then that's totally obviously not a piece of dust.
Yeah, I agree with that. It has to have its own type of light source in order for it to be noticed. And that's the one thing you got to keep an eye on. Again, it comes out to common sense. You could tell the difference between an actual orb or an anomaly and dust and a bug. If you use that, you'll see it for sure.
Yeah, Arden says the flight pattern between dust and orbs are totally different.
Correct. That
For
is 100% right. You'll definitely notice the flight pattern. If you're seeing it going up and down, its chances are it's an orb. It's dust, not orb. I apologize. I said that wrong. If it's going up and down, it's dust. But if you're watching it and it's floating in a certain direction and you see its own light source, you may have something there.
Mm-hmm. Angel says yes, that's correct about the light.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Instant reaction. I've seen orbs that definitely can't be called it was something else.
And that will happen.
Okay.
You will see things that you can't identify as dust or a bug or anything. And a great example, we actually have video footage of debunking it, but also having evidence at the same time out on Fielding-Gar Ranch at night. What happened was we're out in this picnic area because we're experiencing something with a male energy, we believe. And one of Crystal has a water bottle on the back of her. And you watch the light source bounce off the water bottle and out, where you can see obviously this is going to be a light flare. It's not going to be an orb. But as she sits down and the bottle is away from us, so it's not being hit by any light, something comes above her. And that's the one we cannot explain. And there's nothing out there that would make that happen. So we got not only debunking something that was an orb or anomaly, but we did capture actual evidence of an anomaly there.
Randall says I've seen black orbs identify as a demonic presence. Oh, and for some reason the black orbs look like an eyeball. Yeah, some of the pictures I've seen where the orbs have like shapes and like black almost like images in the orb sometimes.
To me, I've been noticing more and more videos, especially on UFO Twitter. More and more people are giving out videos of orbs with images inside of them. Faces, eyes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And Jamie says, I am a ghost. That explains a lot about you, Jamie. That
Hey,
explains
Sixth
a lot.
Sense. I see dead people. It wouldn't surprise me.
Oh, that movie's crazy. I need to go back and watch that one.
Oh, no kidding, right? What a twist.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Yeah, that's a good one. The whole time. He's dead the whole time.
Crazy events. Crazy
Isn't that
events
something?
for sure. Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Does
I actually
anybody else have any other questions for Chris? What was that, Chris?
So Terry Wilson, I'm going to bring her up. I'm actually going to be on her show this Friday called The Witch's Whim, which you're going to see on Facebook. It's at 11 a.m. Central Time. Give a shout out to her. I just recently was on a podcast that she was a part of this past Thursday. Awesome individual. I'm looking forward to getting interviewed by her. So
Awesome.
Check out Witch's Whim. She's out of Alabama, from my understanding.
Oh, Terry Wilson, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. And you haven't been on her show yet?
No, that will happen this coming Friday.
Awesome. And what is her show called?
Witchy Whim, I believe it is.
Witchy Wilm?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Terry, go ahead and promote it real quick. So
Yeah, go ahead for sure.
So everybody knows what to watch for. So
Yeah,
we're going to have an interesting conversation because the last show I was on, I brought up a theory that I have when it comes to the paranormal that I think is rather interesting, and study more into it may have some merit to it. And I'll be more happy to say it right now. I believe, so I don't know what you guys experienced as kids, but the whole entire boogeyman coming out of the closet or the monster underneath the bed. I actually feel what kids are seeing are not monsters or the boogeyman, but they're wandering spirits that are coming through a portal to come and make their presence known. Witchy Whims. There we go.
Witchy Whims. Awesome.
So that's the show we'll be on. And that's what we're going to talk about a little bit, is about my theory about this. Because there's a lot of things that happen that people forget when it comes to children, that they actually can sense spirits more than adults can, because their brains are still developing. They're still young and, what's the word? Innocent. That they experience these things. And I feel when a child experiences something like that, it's not necessarily a monster or a boogeyman, but a wandering spirit that they've never seen before. And the first thing they're going to think of is monster. So,
Right.
In fact, that case in Tooele that I went into, there was a young 5-year-old boy that said he saw something come out of his closet. And one of the things I did was have him draw a picture of what he saw. And he showed me this, and it was It was just a colorful figure that he drew up. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. So I've got it right here.
That sounds so much like the movie Monsters Inc.
Yeah, very similar to it.
And the doors are portals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's almost like they're just proving it to us through video form.
Which is fact. I've got it here somewhere. Let me see. Is it right here? No. I'll have to find it and bring it onto the show one time. But the picture that he drew, he thinks this was the thing that was coming out of his closet, and it looked like, who is it? Oh, what is the name? Slender Man.
Oh, really?
It looked like a Slender Man kind of thing. Would I say it's Slender Man? I'm not going to go that deep. I don't have the evidence to back that up. But it could have been a spirit that kind of looked identical. That it's what he saw.
Well, I mean, a lot of people that see you, I mean, that's what, man, Slender Man, I don't know. That has a big link to UFOs too, I think. Because some of these entities that people are getting pictures of look a lot like Slender Man. Or they look very similar. You know, real skinny appendages and stuff like that. So.
Oh, yeah. I'm noticing here Randall Hill mentions the reason children can see these things are because they were closer to the time that they were in the creator that they are looking at, which is absolutely correct. They're still new to this earth, that their minds are still developing. They're still innocent. They haven't had anything negative happen to them yet, that they see these things happen. But 9 times out of 10, what ends up happening when they say, "Mom, I saw a monster," you're just seeing things. It's your imagination. Go back to bed.
Yeah, there's no such thing as monsters.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we all heard.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
But in a case like this, I think there's more merit to it, that I'm actually out there saying, you know what, listen to your children a little bit.
No problem, Terry. Absolutely.
Yeah, I told my mother one time, Chris, that my grandpa was standing in my room, and he had just died like a week before that, and I was probably only 6, somewhere around 5 or 6. And she's standing there, and to me, he's right here next to her, and I'm telling her, "Mom, he's right there," and she's going like this. "There's nobody here," and she's waving right through him. Mm-hmm. And to me, that's what I was seeing. To her, no one was there. I still remember that to this day, because that was like a very scary thing for me. I wasn't not scared because it was my grandpa. I was still scared. And yeah, that's what I remember, is her telling me he's not. There's nothing here, you know. Yeah. And it's just going right through him.
We can't physically see what they're seeing, and that's kind of one of the reasons why children feel that they can see it, but us adults can't, because we're not as toned to it as much as other people are. Another great example, kind of like what you saw, Sonny, my sister Johanna, when she was like 4 or 5, I don't remember exactly the actual age, but around that time, her oldest brother, John, was killed in a car accident down Ogden Canyon. And she would actually see a spirit and talk to him when she was younger, right around the time that it happened. A lot of her family, including her brother, Justin, who's a part of my team, has experienced it before and understand what she was talking about. So it's remarkable what children see and talk to. So,
oh, sorry about that.
Nope, you're good.
I think a lot of people have seen spirit when they were little and a child, and I think that a lot of people forget about it as they grow up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
Especially when
too.
They're told that it was something that was just in their imagination.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the most memorable part of that, Spooky, for me, the only thing I can really remember the best is that going through. That I can't remember how I even called her in there, if I was crying or, you know, I just remember saying Grandpa's in my room, you know, or something like that, and me not wanting to be in there and her coming in there, me being in that bed and her telling me there's nobody here. Right. That scared me so good that I think that's why I remember that. That sticks in my mind.
Oh,
I've always thought about it.
It will probably stick with you for the rest of your life, and it's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing, because you got to see your grandfather when he was already passed. Mm-hmm. Not many people can see that.
Diesel Girl says, when I was very young, I would see what I would call shadow cats. They didn't look like cats, but they were fast at jumping out of my sight when I tried to look at them. Wow. That's weird. So they were there in like your peripheral vision, and then when you went to go look at them, they kind of jumped away. That's very interesting. It's like something just trying to get your attention. Just to maybe something like that is all you need as a kid to develop into a very open-minded person.
Well, I was going to say maybe for Chris, one perspective that you might want to consider when you're discussing this childhood sightings or encounters would be to consider that maybe when we're young, a lot of us meet what some people describe as our spirit guides.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's a valid point there, Spooky. I like that concept. I really like that theory behind it. Because I think it's true. Because
7 years old for me, so I can imagine that there are so many more people that had this happen that maybe they either don't remember or were told that it was something that was just in their imagination, and they just forgot about it. They forced it out of their minds.
Yeah.
I was actually on another podcast called Staring to the Abyss a month ago with a guy that I met actually at the Las Vegas Para-Unity convention, and I was bringing this theory up, and the other person that was there, both great guys, by the way, Staring to the Abyss, if you have not had a chance to check them out, they are on YouTube as well. But he brought up a very religious point behind it where when they come through heaven, they're still innocent, like I mentioned before, and they see all these things. But what happens is you'll experience something negative that will change your thought process on everything, and it will affect you through the long run. A lot of these children that may have experienced something may have had something negative happen to them that could affected the entire situation. So I kind of look at all the ends of the spectrum because this research and theory that I decided to look into a little bit more. There's a lot of things you have to look at before you can really diagnose this as a possibility. So I'm looking at all ends of the spectrum. I'm listening to all ideas and concepts that could come with it. Spookies is a great idea, great theory in there, which I think I'll add to it.
Yeah, for sure, man.
So thank you.
Yeah. Let's see here. There's a couple people typing in caps, so I can't tell if they're questions or if it's just Jamie typing. Let's see. Spirit guides can be anyone or even anything.
I believe that 100%. Unless it's a skinwalker and then I'm staying away from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about all that. Randall says, I had 10 years of sleep paralysis straight came out of Satan worship. My father was a preacher. I was going to kill myself. Everything. Good Lord, Randall. Is it those shrooms again, man? We gotta get you on some better shrooms, bro.
Wow, dude, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Randall's had some experiences for sure.
And again, I'm going to believe those because he experienced them.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm open-minded behind that. If that happened to him, I do tend to believe it.
Yeah, me too. I'm in no position to say that he didn't experience what he says he experienced, for sure. I mean, even if they were on shrooms, it was still an experience. Just as real as anybody else's.
Oh, yeah. No question about it. In fact, there was a case that we did in 2020, right in January, up in Cherry Lane in Layton, where we discovered that the person that we were working with was definitely on some type of drug that we can't explain, but he was experiencing things like watching a knife float in air. Like he couldn't explain that. He was living in this one little like boxcar thing outside of his house and experienced something jumping on top of it and running off, which his friends saw to confirm. We do tend to ask if drug use has ever been involved when it comes to an investigation. It's not one of my favorite questions to ask, but there's a reason why we ask, because there could be some effect behind it that could cause you to see that stuff. But hey, it happens. That's just what goes on, because that same case, we're in this wooded area and you can feel something is not right with that we ended up having to close the case. We're shut the case down for the night. We're like, we can't go any farther. We need to go. We need to wrap up. Something does not feel right.
Right.
So just because he's on shrooms, for instance, that doesn't mean nothing's happening. There could be something that's still happening.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure, man. So when you go out and do your investigations, how much research do you do before you go to that location?
So the first thing we'll do is an interview with the client to see what they've experienced and anything that comes up, like if there's been an attack, is there a particular part of the house that has the most activity that we can try to focus on, and so forth. And in the same time, I have an historian. His name is Andrew Parks. He's also one of our lead researchers. Him and, oh my gosh, again, it's early morning. I'm still trying to remember everybody's names. I hate when that happens. But him and Tony will go and start researching these addresses to see if they can pick up anything, or just in the city in general, that could have an effect with it. So they'll look into it. Also, there's nothing wrong with going into a case blind, because sometimes you don't want to know what's going on there. You want to see if you can gather stuff. If that happens, that's cool too. Either way works, but I think researching the location before going in will help you in the long run.
For sure. Yeah, because you never know what you're getting into, and if you can't just take someone's word for it, like they might just give you a couple lies just to get you there, and then once you're there, you're like, oh, wait a second, how many people have died here?
Yeah, exactly. You could go into a case hearing all these stories and being like, okay, we've got something. And then you go there, nothing happens, and you find out there was really nothing happened. It's just their imagination running wild, which is disappointing, which is another reason why you also have to be skeptical with what you're being told. Because you can walk into that case thinking, oh, everything's going to happen. But if you walk in skeptical and you're hearing all this, you're not expecting it to happen. So when it does, you're surprised, you're impressed.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready yet to go out and do any of on my own. I would definitely have to go out with a crew like you guys first.
Well, that's the first thing you should always do, is go with a crew so you know what you're getting yourself into. Don't ever go by yourself for safety reasons. With spiritual and physical reasons, you don't ever want to go by yourself. I've learned that on multiple occasions on how bad that can really be, especially if you go into a place that's deteriorating and you get hurt. Not any better. So yeah, I would encourage, go with a group first so you know what you're experiencing.
For sure.
Yep. You go by yourself, you might get the shit scared out of you.
Who knows? Bigfoot might run up on you and you're going to be frozen to death.
I did it by myself once just to see what you guys were talking about. For one, I'll never do it again. And something happened. Something happened that froze me in my tracks. For literally like 10 seconds, I could not step back into that room where I just heard this sound come out of. I was just stuck there. And it's recorded. I've showed these guys. I don't plan on doing it again.
Yeah, if you go with a group, it's one thing because you'll have a lot of people there to protect you. But if you're going by yourself, good luck. You're going to need it.
Yep.
Oh, cool. Chris the Ghost Hunter says, my spirit animal is a dragon, and he and I are one in spirit. That's
very awesome.
That's
awesome.
Fire-breathing dragon? That's pretty awesome. Well, hey, Chris, we're coming up on 2 hours. I don't want to take up too much of your time. It only felt like an hour went by.
Oh, yeah. It's been a great conversation with you, gentlemen. Thank you very much. And everybody in the chat, thank you very much for your questions and chatting and commenting. I really appreciate it. It's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. One more thing before you go. What is all the stuff behind you? Are you a toy collector, or is that some of your kids, or...
So I'm a big fan when it comes to retro video game collecting, as well as the newer stuff. So a lot of this stuff that you're seeing back there, like the collection of hats, are all Mario characters or Sonic the Hedgehog. Got some video games back there, a lot of collectibles.
Oh, sweet.
So I'll turn real quick and show more of it.
Oh.
It's pretty much my game cave, I like to call it. It's my office / my entertainment room for me to relax, have a good time, watch movies.
That's so cool.
So,
The one I've been really thinking about lately is N64. I let my buddy back in like 5th grade, or no, what the hell grade was that? That must have been like 9th grade, I guess. I let him borrow my N64, and then it wasn't like a week or 2 weeks later he moved, and I never got it back.
Oh.
So
That's
I
a nice going away
gave him my
present.
N64 with 2 controllers and like GoldenEye. The GoldenEye game was there, and man, I can't stop thinking about that game.
It's
That
funny
console.
it's funny you bring that up because I've got a story that involves a little bit of the paranormal and video game side.
Oh, sweet.
So in 2009, I used to work at GameStop out in Ogden, Utah, as an assistant store manager. And one day we had a lady customer come in with a bunch of video games in a shopping cart. And she was looking to sell all of it. What happened was it was all her sons, and her son was killed in a hiking accident.
Oh.
So she didn't want to keep a hold of it for sentimental reasons and everything. So she brought she brought all of it to us to see what we could take. We gave her cash for what she couldn't sell. And I ended up walking with her to her car because I knew what she had, and I knew there were going to be people trying to do something. So I walked with her to bring it back to all her car, and she's like, you've been so nice to me. I really appreciate it. You can have the rest of this. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, you're more than welcome to it. One of those items actually happened to be a Nintendo 64, which you mentioned. So it was a great experience, very humbling to see a woman be so nice to do that for you. But it was also kind of sentimental because it involved a child or a kid that lost his life in a very unfortunate circumstance. So it's definitely very haunting.
And it was almost like maybe from the other side they knew that you were a collector, and it was just like their way of saying thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's so cool, man.
And, I'll never forget that. It's one of my favorite stories I like to talk about GameStop. Not very many because it wasn't the most popular place to be at certain times, but it will be one of those I'll always never forget.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Well, cool. Appreciate you sharing that with us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chris, man. It's been awesome.
Yeah, thanks,
Thank you.
Chris.
And real quick, guys, for everybody, just go to our website, wasparanormal.org. It's linked to our Facebook page, our YouTube channel. And also, I want to give a special shout out to our sponsor, Dark Prime Collectibles here in Clearfield, Utah. So if you are looking for Legos, collectibles, video games, go to their website and check out what they've got. You'll definitely be impressed. And tell Jason Chris says hi.
And what was that website again?
Just look up Dark Prime Collectibles. You can look on Facebook for them, or you can just go Dark Prime Collectibles and should be able to pull up their website.
Okay, excellent. Dark Prime Collectibles.
Correct.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chris.
And one last thing, I apologize. I got to say thank you to my team. Thank you to everybody who's a part of our team. We really do appreciate you guys. You're phenomenal. Without you guys, WASP wouldn't exist. So thank you to everybody that's a part of my team.
That's great.
Awesome, brother.
Thanks, Chris. And thanks
you.
for the whole WASP team.
And I'm sorry I had to keep jumping in and out, Chris. I'm sorry about that, but I was listening the whole time.
Greatly appreciate it, man. I understand. Trust me. When it comes to family or work, whatever reasons, sometimes you got to hop out and take care of it.
Oh, Justin, I had one more question. Do you like the small handheld games?
Game Boy Color, those are awesome. Game Boy Advance, I love those. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the small handhelds.
Oh, geez.
Unless it's the Tiger Electronics.
The PS. The only handheld game I ever had was the PS. I love that thing. When it first came out. Yeah.
PSP? Whatever that one's called?
The PSP, yes.
Man, I had the one where you had to have light, so they even had like the one that had the light that come out of it.
Yeah. I had that too.
So you can play in the dark.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Classic.
All right, Chris, well, we'll let you go there so you can get on with the rest of your day, but we really appreciate you hanging out with us this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, guys. I had a blast, and until next time, I'll catch you guys on the other side.
All right, thanks
All
a
right,
lot,
brother.
buddy.
Take care.
Later, man. Awesome.
That was
That was
cool.
fun. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I'm going to bring up some music. Yeah, man, that was a good one. I'm glad I asked about the games and stuff in the background.
I might have to dip out again here in a minute.
Good Lord, Sonny.
I'm gonna go to Vegas, so I decided I need a lot of money to go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And I put one of the vehicles up for sale, and I put it up too cheap, dude. People have been blowing me up. But one guy just messaged me from Selma. He said he's going to the bank, getting the money, and coming to get it. So don't sell it to nobody else, basically.
Damn.
Yeah, somebody's gonna get a good van.
You ever had that happen where you told somebody to come get it and then somebody called you and offered more money?
Oh yeah, that guy's the one that gets it too. It says or best offer. Or best offer doesn't always have to go down. One time, I bought a truck for $4,200 or best offer.
Mm-hmm.
I paid $5,700 for that truck because a guy was there bidding against me.
Really?
Yeah, the guy was selling his truck way too cheap. Then we got in a bidding thing over it. That guy lost, and then I turned around and sold the same truck 2 weeks later for $10,000. That's how cheap the guy was selling his truck, and I didn't do anything to it.
Wow.
Yep. That or best offer, it'll get you sometimes. You think you're gonna get a deal, then you pay more.
Yeah.
But yeah,
The music,
for
by
me-
the way, is brought to you by First Floor Audio.
And he was in here earlier. I seen him. He was saying hi to Melissa. He don't even say hi to us. He just comes in here and is like, "Hey, Melissa."
Hey, ladies, how's it going?
Yeah, I know.
Ladies, man.
Can't blame him.
At least he's Melissa. He forgets what channel he's on. He didn't even want to say hi to us.
Oh, he is here. Awesome.
He is. He is.
Yeah, guys, check out Lee on Saturday nights. He does an awesome show over there on his channel, First Floor Audio.
Time is an Illusion's the jam.
Yeah, that is the jam. I play it so often, though, I wanted to play something.
When you play it, it's in my head for the rest of the day, man.
It was in my head last night at work.
My Lee away. Melissa. Melissa's telling me don't be hating.
Jake said, "Me too." Hey, Melissa. Jake, you got up early today, man. You were up before the show started. It's awesome. I want this week to go quick. Thursday, we got my sister on the show.
That's gonna be awesome.
Molly Christine will be here on Thursday.
Up and rising YouTube star.
Yup.
Joe, you're still getting over the COVID, are ya? Still getting over it. Well, I hope you do, man. I mean, I know you will, but I hope you do quickly. We got a JoJo Bone show to do this weekend. Guys, if you are not, I'm sure most people are, but if you're not aware of it, we have a JoJo Bone show that we do on Saturdays, 5 p.m. Central Time, only on YouTube. So go over to YouTube and search JoJo Bone Show, and please subscribe. We would like to see some more live viewers in the chat while we're doing that show. It's a lot of fun, actually. That show ends up being more fun than this one. I like it. JoJo makes it a good time over there. And it's pretty laid back, you know? Pretty laid back over there at the JoJo Bone Show. Jamie wants to know, can Spooky answer why he took his beard away from us all?
I had to make sure that I still had a jawline, and luckily for me, it's still there.
It's still there. What are you kidding? You just turned like 35.
See that?
Of course you
Still
can have
there.
a jawline.
Still got it.
I don't have no jawline.
But the only problem is now you can see the dimples more too.
The dimples. It is crazy though. You get used to how somebody looks, and then when they come back, they're like if I shaved all my hair, my facial hair off, I'd look totally different.
Thanks, Diesel Girl. I usually cut it like once or twice a year. Now it's getting warmer. We had 2 or 3 days where it was in the 90s here by the beach.
Really? Already?
Yeah, and by not having the beard, oh, it was nice. Actually, I go outside and get a little sun on my face.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not supposed to be in the 90s by the beach. In April.
Yeah, it's getting warmer. The Earth is pissed at us.
Figures.
It's getting warmer and warmer and warmer.
That's what happens when you abuse. Abuse and abuse.
Yeah, you know, I was thinking about that last night, how they've always blamed it all on the carbon emissions or whatever that the cars are putting off. But then I'm also hearing about how many nuclear tests that they've done in the past. 40s, 50s, 60s. How many times they've blown up the planet just for testing.
What's up, Andre?
I don't think that was very good for the oceans. JoJo says he's been sleeping for 2 weeks.
That's the way I felt for about 3 or 4 days, man.
Maybe you didn't get sick, JoJo. Maybe you were just in hibernation.
Yeah, dude. Maybe it's too cold in your house and your body thinks that you're in hibernation mode.
This time of year must be JoJo bone hibernation time.
Lee, I don't know how much of this I'm allowed to play. This Trusting Change album. Is that all of you? Because it's on... The channel it's on is Ray's Studios. I just want to make sure I'm not going to get in trouble for playing that album. I love the album. I just don't want to get in trouble for
Sonny,
Sonny,
Jamie doesn't watch you on your phone, man.
Oh, Sonny's ignoring us and playing with his phone.
That's a pet peeve of hers.
And you're muted somehow.
She wants Sonny off his phone, and she wants Papa Willie in his overalls.
That's what I'm selling.
That's gonna be a good time in Vegas.
And if you can see, I have so many cars, I can't keep it. I can't fit all my cars in my yard no more.
No.
And it's blocking Jim's parking for his trailer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's Jim's Goodall's homes away from home right there. But sorry, guys. Spilt the bong.
Ray's his stag, his buddy from the show. Okay. Yeah, I just don't want to get in trouble. That's it, man. Freaking minivan.
What are we doing today?
Yep. Jake wants that damn minivan. Can you imagine all the places you could go with that thing, Jake?
Oh, dude. If
Take
you
the
had
back
that
seats out of
minivan,
it.
Jake, it would be so easy to pick up on Melissa. She loves minivans.
Yeah, look at it. She says she can't believe that you're selling her ride.
See? I got that minivan just so Melissa would like me.
Hell yeah,
Still didn't work. She still likes Jake better than me.
I can see her cruising all over North Carolina with that minivan. Yeah, Lee, you need to upload some more music, man. I've played all of your music so many times over. But we're going to go to a classic because it's a classic. That's not it. We got to play... This isn't it either. What is going on here?
Guys, I'll be right back. I spilled all the bong water. It all came out.
Dude, I almost spilt water all over my desk earlier.
As long as the bong's okay.
Bong's all right.
This is the ones, Spooky.
This is my jam.
Ladies and gentlemen, First Floor Audio.
This song is about meditation for me.
It's about meditation?
For me, yeah. When I heard the lyrics, I knew that Lee meditates. We can't worry about the past or the future.
Jam right there.
Yeah, dude.
That's driving music, guys. I've got a video of Dad driving through the snow.
I love that video.
Going like 75 miles an hour.
I think you should play that. I remember that night. That was great.
Yeah, I was like, it makes me drive fast.
I was thinking, this dude's driving through a fucking blizzard. This could be the last drive he makes, but it'll be fucking worth it because he's rocking out.
He was living in the moment.
He was driving that shit like time was an illusion.
Yeah. When he sent me the video, I was like, what is this? In fucking fast forward? Is he really driving that fucking fast in the snow?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't that fast. It looks like it is.
I get a little fog and a little drizzle, and we slow down to like 40.
You guys both talked at the same time.
Sorry. Yeah, I can see the speedometer. It said 70-something miles an hour. It was that fast.
Let me see if I can. I wonder if we can find that. It was a long time ago, man. Let's see.
Did you say Diesel Girl?
I sent that.
Six sucks.
I sent that to your messenger, Sonny.
I do believe so. Yeah. Yeah, that was a long time ago, Chad.
Oh, I just now saw that you've been messaging me. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I was having problems earlier.
Hey,
But I
man, I'm going to be
figured it
5 or
out.
10 minutes late.
I got it covered.
Okay. I don't know how to pull up my... Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm trying to pull up our past, like only the videos and images that we've sent. I don't know how to do that. I can do it on my phone.
That was a while ago. That was a couple months ago.
Live in the moment. The only time that matters is now. Time is not an illusion.
All right. I figured out how to do it on my phone, so I'm looking for it right now.
Yeah, this is the song that I told Lee that if this song would have been submitted to Rocky, we wouldn't know this song like we know Eye of the Tiger.
Right.
This song would fit so good in the Rocky scenes where they play Eye of the Tiger. This song would fit right in there.
Yep. Yeah, I remember you saying that. Man, we've sent some crazy pictures back and forth. Look at this one.
Grandpa, I'd like to fuck.
That's
Right
some of your best work, man.
Man, I don't see it, Sonny.
Yeah, it was too long ago. You're not gonna find it.
Uh-oh, wait, what's this? See, I can't just randomly play... Some of these are me just singing. I don't want those out there. Hey, Sonny, look at this one.
Oh, that's Rocky fake sleeping.
He's
So-
fake sleeping, man. I
Yeah.
love when dogs fake sleep.
He doesn't want to get out of my spot, so he's acting like he's sleeping, but he can't stop his tail from wagging.
Hello, lovely Coral.
Every time his tail wags in that video, Spooky, you can hear me in the back going, "Rocky, are you fake sleeping?" And then his tail starts going real fast, and then it stops. "Oh, no, you're not sleeping." And it starts going.
This other one I just found was me going, "One day, guys, it's all gonna come out. The bodies, the documents, the crap."
Speaking of which,
Oh, speaking of which, I know what you
every
mean by that.
morning, man, the whole day starts with Alien Girl music.
What's the best way to start the day?
Love that alien girl.
Not this one.
Is she gonna be in Vegas too?
Yeah.
Holy smokes, guys! I get to meet Amy.
That's not fair.
Yeah, I think
But
you.
I'm glad at least one of us. Jamie, really?
Oh, and Jamie,
Lord,
I
Jamie.
seen earlier. I was looking at chat where you said, "Oh, Sonny's the best, Sonny's the greatest," and all that stuff you were putting in there. You just remember that when Sonny needs to take a shower because I didn't book a room yet. Yeah, so I'll be driving to your house.
Hey,
you
Coral,
use
it's
the
good to
shower.
see you.
I could sleep in that CRV, but I can't take a shower in it.
Uh-oh, Jamie's just finding out now that you're coming to Vegas, Sonny.
Uh-oh, yep.
She
I
just
already told
realized
Bree.
it.
I told Bree, but I didn't tell.
They want you to sleep over, Sonny.
You never know. I might need a place to sleep. Really, Jamie. I might be staying with you.
How did you
Oh,
get here?
Lord have mercy.
I'm either staying with you, or I'm sleeping with JoJo, or I'm gonna sleep in between Joe and Ben.
Either way, this is going to be a one for the books. You're going to have to go live.
Her husband's out of town. You can share
Oh
the
no, I
bed.
can't stay then. I can't stay then.
Yeah, Sonny's only allowed there if your man's there.
Yeah, we got to have a chaperone. I don't think we can be together alone.
You can share the bed with me and Bree. Oh my God Almighty!
Oh no!
Either that, or you can go to JoJo's and share the bed with JoJo and Mr. Crowley.
I told Cassie last night. You imagine if I have to go to Jamie's house to take a shower? How many miles she's gonna get out of that? I go, I'll have to fucking go in the bathroom and take like 30 minutes to spend trying to find the hidden cameras.
A Joe, Sonny, and Ben sandwich.
Hey man, sounds like a triple decker.
Oh my Lord, Justin! I don't know if I can even read that one. That's funny. Got to make sure those are waxed up and ready to go.
Butt stuff.
Butt stuff. Wow. If you don't stay at her house and use her shower, she's going to be offended.
Okay. Okay.
Sonny, hi. This is Sonny Conway. I'm live from Jamie's shower. A couple crystals in here.
Do one thing. Go to Jamie's.
I'll go live
be
for
lots
Jamie's
of
shower.
There's going to be lots of snacks.
Which you know I'm going to go to Jamie's.
Oh yeah, you're going to be at Jamie's.
Got to go at least see your house. I'm in Vegas. That means if Jamie goes to see Bree, you have to stop here, Jamie, and see my house and meet everyone here. And I'll even let you stay in Jim's trailer.
Hey,
with Jim if he's here. I don't even care.
Jim would love that.
Yeah, he would. You would never get to sleep, Jamie. Jim will keep you up partying all night if you try to stay in the trailer with him.
Sonny already spent his whole morning washing boobs. He's Jake's spirit.
I did.
How did you get here?
How? In the YouTube algorithm.
In the YouTube algorithm. Did you get here?
YouTube
I learned this
algorithm.
morning that if you try to take a shower with your wife to save time, and she's as hot as my wife, it does not save time. It'll just make you both late.
No wonder we had a drought.
Yeah, that's what it was.
You guys wasting all that water?
Yeah, I wonder how that.
Well, we weren't wasting it.
Wow. Wow, Sonny.
TMI?
Maybe. Too much information. No, too much information is not in the chat, so I think we're good. Boom, 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 boom.
Hey,
Jake
my
Smith.
wife's pretty awesome, guys. I asked her last night. This is when I decided to go. I asked her if I could go. I decided that if none of us are going to be there, except for Gemma would be the only one there from our channel, and then she would just be on her own.
Yeah.
With the Chop Shop and Chad Smith podcast. So I was like, dude, I can't do that. They're all going to be this close, and I'm not going to meet Ben and Joe. Fuck that. That's 5 hours away. And then I felt real bad when I looked up the round trip plane ticket for me to fly. $38.
Yeah. You can't beat
It's
that.
$38 for a round trip ticket from Fresno to Vegas.
Southwest?
Flight's like 30 minutes.
Is that Southwest?
Oh, I don't know. I was trying to picture what a $38 plane looked like, and I was pretty sure I didn't want to fly on
I
it.
think it's bright yellow.
You might want to talk to Jim Goodall about if that's safe or not.
Yeah.
See if
Oh,
you
and then Jim, I told Jim I was going, and then I
What's up,
told him,
Russell?
hey, Jim, when we leave Vegas, I'll race you back to my house because we're both coming here. He's coming here after he leaves Vegas. He's going to come to my house and stay the night. And so I tell him I'll race him back, and that crazy fucker tells me, hey, I have to stop in Mojave and have lunch with the director from from one of the plane museums. Did I say UFO museum? Almost. Yeah. One of the plane museums. He's got to stop and have a lunch or dinner with the director. So he tells me he'll race me from Vegas to Mojave, though. So, hopefully Hopefully, me and Jim make it back. And we don't get arrested.
Jamie says, "Oh my God, you have no idea how excited I am right now."
Me too.
Sweetly
Jamie,
Morbid Bear is just trying to find a trying to get a cheap one-way ticket for under 300. Good
And then
lord!
I messaged Bree, and I told her I was sorry that we hadn't made it to her shows, and I would try to get there. I felt bad, guys. I was like, oh my God, I think I've only seen one. I've been that busy since she started. I felt
You've
horrible.
been pretty busy, man.
And then she didn't message me back, so I messaged her back and told her, hey, fucker, you can't be mad at me. Don't be mad at me, god damn it. She messaged me back and told me she wasn't.
That's good.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, this music is like an everyday thing now. Somebody in there said that she should change her music.
I was just about to
Who?
say that.
Alien Girl's music?
Whoever's telling Alien Girl to turn it down or to change it just needs to like get your own channel.
Nah, maybe turn it down. If I can't hear her voice, then yeah, I would even tell her to turn it down.
I say
I love you,
Alien
Lee.
Girl can
I
do
love
no
you,
wrong.
Lee. But if your music's playing while Alien Girl's trying to talk, Amy Girl,
get the
I'll be
damn
dancing
mug.
and not listening.
Don't you
Oh, you
see
got
what it
your
means to the
mug.
lady? She loves it when you got her mug, man.
I gotta get that mug.
You guys, my favorite thing about Amy is when she does her 2-minute recap, her TikTok 2-minute recap.
5, 4, 3,
Three.
2.
2, 1, go. Okay, my name is Amy. She does her countdown every time. I love the countdowns.
Me
3,
too.
2, 1, go. Hi.
How did you get your mug from Alien
How
Girl?
in the world?
Where did you order that at?
Did you?
Well,
get your mug?
she has a link, but you got to be one of her. I think, no, I'm one of the
Oh.
monthly supporters of her.
See? I ordered
And-
one, but I only got her OnlyFans, so I got the OnlyFans mug from Amy Girl. But this is. But I like drinking out of it, Amy.
I bet you do. Oh man.
Oh, I'm.
Oh, Coral, you can actually see my face now.
Sweetly Morbid Bear, I did watch your orb videos. And yeah, they're nuts. Because it's not dust. You can tell. I like getting the legit videos.
I have. Bree asked me for my phone number, and she has
Yes.
it, and I have hers. So I don't think your number is in there, Jamie. Remember, I have to get a hold of you through Messenger, and you don't like it. So I will need your number if I'm going to go to your house.
Brassel's wondering what's going on with Spooky.
Yeah, luckily for me, man, I took double test, and luckily it wasn't the C, but it was just a flu.
That sucks, man. Spooky, when the weather changes, do you usually get sick? You know, because California, like 2 days ago, it was fucking 80. Now it's 40 right now,
Dude,
45.
I couldn't believe how hot it was those 2 days. It was 93, and I live about a mile away from the frickin' beach, man.
Uh-huh.
That ain't supposed
Yeah,
to be like that
93.
before Easter.
93 where Spooky lives is very hot. It usually
Right?
stays right around 75 where he lives.
Oh wow, really?
Oh, yeah, we're never, ever in the 90s, even in the summer. That's why it was wild.
That's Eric. Have you ever heard him talk about it getting up to 100 in Washington? And everyone thinks they're going to die.
Well, I mean,
There's not do that there either.
some people are not set up to deal with the heat
No,
like that,
people in
especially like
Washington
older
don't
people.
have air conditioning because
Exactly.
they've never needed it. So they got brand new houses without AC, and now it's starting to be 100 degrees there, and they're
Mhm.
rethinking that. Everyone wants air conditioning now.
Yeah, we put on the AC one night here because it was too uncomfortable.
Deanna had it on both nights that it was hot.
Yeah.
I was freezing.
You gotta sleep well.
Yeah.
Bump, bump.
How did you get
And yeah,
here?
right now it's 46. It's barely starting to warm up. I was freezing out here.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get here? How
Do it,
in the YouTube algorithm did you find yourself here? It's gonna come out one day, guys.
It's just like her.
Amy is a freaking superstar, okay?
Yes.
It's all gonna come out, guys. The bodies, the documents, the crafts. And you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say, we knew the whole time, guys.
Where'd you hear it?
And we're gonna say, no, man, we knew the whole time. Because we were listening to Alien Girl 1, bitches.
Bam!
Bam! Bam!
Why don't we just change the name of this podcast to Alien Girl Fan Club? Right?
We could get away with that, I think. I don't think anybody would object to that.
Yeah. Bam!
Bam! It's all gonna come out. Oh my god. Bam! Bam! Oh my lord. You guys. Just cause it's topless Two Taco Tequila Tuesday had to be 2. Thank you so much, Terry Brown, for buying us 2 cheeseburgers on our Buy Me a Coffee app.
Aren't you the guy from...
Really appreciate that.
Thanks, Terry, man.
Thank you so much for buying us those cheeseburgers. It goes a long way to help us with the StreamYard and paying for everything else that costs money over here. Paying for our music that we listen to every week. We gotta pay Lee in coffees. We gotta buy him keys.
Mm-hmm.
We got a message already back from our guest today, Chris Harmon. He says, thank you again for having me on your show. It was an awesome experience.
Oh, man.
Thank you, Chris Harmon, for hanging out with us today, man. You were awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
You had way more energy than I had. I felt bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a great guest.
I was having a hard time waking up. I mean, I've been up, but I think that's why I was having a hard time waking back up. And I have no coffee at the apartment.
What?
I forgot that I ran out of coffee, and then when I went to the store yesterday, I never bought any. So yeah, this is empty.
Man.
Trash. Brassel says, switch from coffee to yellow Red Bull. Does the yellow Red Bull have sugar in it? Because I can't have.
Red Bull? They have that?
Jacob Taylor, what in the world? You're
What
on your
in the
way.
world?
Cheeseburgers and eggplants? Keep your eggplant away from your cheeseburgers. It doesn't
Yeah.
belong anywhere near those. No Coral, no coffee. I'll have some Thursday. When my sister's going to be here. Going to have Molly Christine on the show. We're going to feature the sinking of the Titanic.
Oh, that's going to be good.
Yeah, Thursday is the anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic. So
Right.
April 14th, 1912.
Oh, he's so clever. Awesome.
I think that was my idea, but she's taking it to a different level.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to be all prepared, and I'm not.
Oh, my God.
Oh my lord, Jamie. Spooky sunk his Titanic inside you? Sonny's so distracted, he's not even laughing.
Sorry, man. Oh, see what you made me do? You just made me tell this guy the goddamn van got a V7 in it. Now I look like an idiot.
The other one's not working. The other cylinder's
It's
just
a
not
V6.
working right.
God damn it.
It's one of them V7s.
Oh.
Oh my god.
So many
almighty.
people are calling on this van. It's definitely going to get sold today. I should have put it in there for like $3,000, not $2,000.
Damn, man, you can be high rolling in Vegas.
Well, I just needed to get rid of it fast because it really is taking up a lot of room in my yard. I have all those cars, dude, and I have no extra room for extra vehicles.
Yeah,
It's
and
either
so we're
sell
gonna go out
that
and
or
do-
my Buick. I wasn't selling my Buick.
Sunk my battleship.
Oh my god.
V7.5. Spooky sends me too much.
I gotta mute so I can open the garage door.
Alright, go ahead, man. This Sonny guy's trying to rip me off. I thought I was buying a V8. Some bitch was a V7.
Oh my.
I haven't seen Average Size Willie in a while. That sounded funny. Oh, Eric's in his office? Okay, Eric. Well, make sure you check your email often. You never know what might be in your email. What is happening? Am I still here?
I see you.
Internet is like not working, but somehow I'm still alive. This is weird. Trying to load a web page and it says I have no internet. That's weird. Clearly have internet. Well, this is strange. Trying to pull up my email and it's just sitting there loading. Is Gmail down? No. Gmail's not down. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm trying, Eric. I'm trying, man. Something. The Russians got into my computer. I'm not sure what's happening. It's Obama. It probably is, man.
Oh my.
I'm having existential crisis. Yeah. Am I here right now? I'm not even joking. Everything else is loading just fine, but I try to load my Gmail and it's just sitting there acting like I have no internet. Let's try this a different way. I have to pull up StreamYard on my phone. Grab the link. Go to my email. Gypsy Road.
Gypsy Road had a great show yesterday, man.
Yeah, I'm always so pissed that I don't get to catch them live. I mean, sometimes I do, but I'm like barely awake.
Live is the best, but if I miss it, I always try to catch it up later and
Yeah.
watch it later.
I always listen to it at work.
Oh, Andy went over 15K. I was so happy for that.
He went over 15,000?
Yes.
15,000 subscribers.
Man, everybody should be on that channel.
Mm-hmm.
No, it was a good one, Eric.
No, you didn't rant too much, man.
I like it when you speak your mind.
Yeah, go ahead and keep doing that. It doesn't matter.
Hey, it's working.
Yep. That's so weird. After I sent it to him, my Gmail loaded fine.
Look, I shaved too. I shaved too, Spooky.
Look at you
See, now,
guys.
baby face Eric. Baby face Gypsy Road.
I know. I don't like it. Oh, my fault. My fault. My fault.
So unprofessional. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't like it at first either, Eric, but then once I started going outside in the heat, in the sun, I liked it better.
Well, I blame it on. I blame this actually on Cassie, Oracles and Beyond. I blame it on her.
Oh yeah?
She did a reading. Was the night before at nighttime. I think Chad popped in a few times. She pulled the card out for me, and it's a romance card.
Oh yeah.
She goes, "You're going to get some romance." And I said, "Well, I better not go in the bedroom because my wife probably slap me if I try to get some romance." so the next day, I go to the wife. I go, "Hey, I got a romance card pulled on me last night. We got. The gods are saying we need some romance." And she goes, "Well, you're only going to get romance if you don't shave.
If you don't or you do?
If I have to shave first."
Yeah, you have to shave.
She,
She don't like
it.
it.
She never really likes it, because it itches her too much. So
Jamie-
because of Cassie's card, and to respect the gods about the romance, I had to shave.
Jamie's very not happy about it. You need to get some hair on your face immediately if you still want to be friends with her, it sounds like. Just glue it on or something. Paint it
Yeah,
on.
but Jamie, without the hair, I'm slicker, faster,
A lot more slipperier.
Oh, aerodynamic.
aerodynamic.
You got that. You got it. Oh, man. I don't even know what I'm going to say.
So I didn't
about
catch
that.
the whole thing with your interview. I got to go back because spring break is over. So
Hey,
how was it?
Parasolo.
I heard the last part about the video games and stuff. So that's cool that you had all of these toys. I love toys.
I'll be honest. I felt kind of bad that I wasn't awake enough to give him a proper interview. I felt like I was a little lacking today, but he did really good.
Yeah.
I love toys too. When you
That's
talk
awesome,
about
Eric.
toys,
X-Wing fighter.
Less drag, more lift. Streamlined.
Man, I wanted to fly one of those so bad.
the cool thing is I found that at a thrift store for $3.
Man, that is a score.
2 of them,
$3?
$3 at a thrift store. I'm like,
Oh
why?
my lord, man!
I mean, listen, we were kids. I'm older. We don't get toys this huge as a kid. I mean, kids are lucky these days.
Dude, you should hang that from your ceiling with fishing line.
Actually,
That was a great find.
Actually, there is a string. I do string it. I know you can't tell, but I had to rearrange my office down here.
Oh, okay.
Do you have the TIE Fighter? Do you have Darth Vader's?
Not like that big. I have a small one upstairs. I do, of course.
How about Millennium Falcon?
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah, I think I've seen
I
it.
do have
I think you showed it to us.
I have my little R2-D2 right here,
Mm-hmm.
and my big C-3PO's upstairs taking apart toys. I mean, I don't have a lot of. Oh, you can't see it. I got the green screen up. But I love people when they have toys. You're never too old to have toys.
Absolutely. I just wish I wouldn't have got rid of. I wish I still had the ones I used to have when I was younger.
Yeah, but when you're a kid, you don't know what's going to be value and it's not. I mean, as a kid, you're not going to keep a toy in a package. You're going to open it.
It's kind of up to the parents to keep that for you.
And really, let's be honest, the collectors is more for the grown-ups than the kids themselves. The kids just want to play.
Mm-hmm. It's more for nostalgic reasons. I wish I still had it. I mean, the fact that I didn't keep it sucks.
I'm 47 and I'm still opening every toy I buy because I want to play with them.
Sonny, you got some awesome toys, man.
I got badass toys, dude.
Hell yeah. You and Anthony S4.
Nice of you to join us today, Chad.
Thanks, man. Internet dropped.
Ooh. Look at those
story.
cars, those trucks, man.
I mean, there's stuff that I regret. I used to have like 10, 12 of different Jack Lambert Elstree.
Oh, that thing's cool, dude.
Right?
Yeah,
I used to have 10
one.
of them, 10 different kinds, but I needed money one day, so I sold a lot of them. Now I'm like, I wish I didn't sell a lot of them, but I had to keep the Santa Claus one.
I gotta go grab one of the toys that I got in my room. It's not what Jamie's thinking.
But still, this one's always my favorite. The Cigarette Man from Beetlejuice.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I mean, tell me, how many toys are you going to buy that's going to have a body holding cigarettes?
Yep. That is
I never
pretty
saw
cool,
that
dude.
one.
I've never seen that before.
Mm-mm.
And this is way over 20 years old. I bought this when it came out.
Huh.
And I'm like, I'm buying this because parents will never buy this for kids just because of cigarettes. I'm surprised they were allowed to buy it.
Yeah, Anthony S4, that'd be cool, man. If sometime on your show you just showed us all your favorite toys and stuff, that'd be sick. Because I know you got some goodies.
No, Danny, it's not a blow-up doll.
I mean, I got my little Rumble, like my Rambo. Got to have my Rambo.
Aww.
One
I had to buy
RC cars, guys. You can open those and play with them.
Oh,
and they're still worth a shitload of money when they get older.
Of course, you can't beat Ash from the Army of Darkness, Evil Dead.
Oh, I don't know.
You guys got the cool toys, man.
This Baby Yoda came with his little that frog-looking thing he had in the show, and he's got like an actual furry little hoodie on, or whatever that thing's called.
I do got my Slimer, and he glows in the dark.
Oh, that's cool too.
They were trying to make Slimer to look like John Belushi.
I heard that before. You might have told me that before. I think.
They wanted it to look like John Belushi because John Belushi was going to be in the movie originally. Him and Eddie Murphy. Of course, John Belushi died.
Yeah,
so they asked the guy to create Slimer to look like John Belushi. He kind of looked like him. He just said he did, but he technically didn't. But it looked like John Belushi anyway. So they're like, "Oh, great job." He's like, he took credit for something. He said, "I can't make him look like John Belushi, but I guess he does a little bit."
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the music died because I left, huh? Share screen.
So man, how many cars do you have, Sonny? I'm sorry.
Oh, Sonny's got a lot of money in cars over there. That yellow one he calls the lunchbox. He's had that one since he was a kid.
That's kind of
since I was in the 7th grade.
Where you got to sell a car just because there's too many cars outside. I mean, that's a good problem.
Yeah, I do. I really. That's. I was just messaging somebody. They were asking me if the RV was for sale, and my fifth wheel. They're trying to buy Jim's house or Jim's vacation home, and I told them no, and then I told them, but I do have this Buick that I'll sell you for $9,000. And
you're gonna sell your Buick?
He's asking for 9 G's. I will. Yeah.
Oh man.
Damn.
Remember, guys, I get those things running sometimes too, sell like that, and that car only has 75,000 original miles. A 69 Buick Electra
69
with 75,000 original miles. Everything works, AC, all power windows.
Straight up classic, man.
It's lowered.
69.
So fine.
Original plates. Look, there's the original plates on the wall right there. It's got the original tag on it. Right there above by that black car.
Now, do you have that one car you just will not sell?
Huh?
Do you have that one car you just cannot sell? I mean, it's going to be with you forever.
It's supposed to be that Buick, but for that kind of money, I would sell it.
It's supposed to be that Buick.
Everything
most
has a
likely
price.
this red truck that's out there. I'll have that forever, probably.
If you were down here with that car, Sonny, that thing would sell in a second.
Oh, the Buick, yeah, the Buick will sell fast. It's just not for sale. The guy just happened to ask, so I was like, I could probably sell this.
Jake said the price goes up every time Jim stays in there.
Well,
it does, huh?
They say used cars are hot right now. I mean, because the way the prices are, new cars, there's less stock of new cars, so prices are up. So more people are buying used cars versus new cars. So it's a good time to sell. I mean, you get top dollar.
Yeah, I should have asked more for reals. There's a lot of people. I just asked so little because it's tagged in Washington State. But here someone's just gonna buy it, and because it passes smog, they'll just switch the plates over to here.
See, Washington State sucks on this because in the past, when I first moved up here, if you bought a car in Oregon, people will buy cars in Oregon because Oregon's a tax-free state.
Yep.
And then they would register it in Washington. But then Washington's like, oh, whoa, we're losing money on this. Yeah, so now if you buy a car in Oregon, you bring it to Washington, you have to pay the taxes no matter what. So you couldn't do that.
When you buy a car in Oregon for $10,000, You know, I can't say that though on here. I can't say it, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Damn it, I can't say that.
Well,
'cause
I
you'll get in
mean,
big
you could
trouble.
say what some people do, like not what you would do, but
What I'm getting ready to do, though. I'm definitely not gonna say it.
I mean, there's definitely things in Michigan, in Michigan where when you sell a car, you're supposed to write down how much you sold it for, so that when you take it in, they tax you on that. But
Oh yeah. You can't.
there's definitely times when you've bought a couple-year-old vehicle and it was only $500.
Yeah, you gotta pay the price, because if you say it's a gift, you get taxed more as a gift if you're gifting a car.
Oh yeah, you don't
gotta
give
say,
things away. As a
I
gift.
sold it to you for $300, and then they can pay the minimum, whatever it is. But you can't say a gift, because that's even more taxes versus the low price of where they're not gonna question you.
You can do it, but you can only do it once. You can gift a car to your wife or son or someone like that and actually get away with not paying the gift tax one time. If you do it again, they have to pay the gift tax.
One time,
Oh
California.
wow!
Well, that's how it was. I don't know how it is now. And then I can only sell 6 cars a year. I can. I like, so when I get a vehicle, if I register it to myself, fix it and sell it, I can only do that 6 times.
Really?
So if I buy a vehicle, fix it, and then sell it, and never put it in my name, I just it's like they bought it from that guy, then that doesn't go on my.
But I don't get that. People buy houses, fix them up, and resell them more than 6 times a year. Why can't you do that with the car?
If you do that in California and you buy a house, and you say you buy a house for $30,000, and you sell it for $60,000 within a couple months, you flipped it and made 30 grand. If you don't reinvest that $30,000 into another property within so many months, you have to pay the taxes on the 30 grand that you made the profit on. You have to pay more taxes on the 30 grand that you made the profit on. You have to reinvest it back into property. You're not allowed just to buy and flip houses. And in other words, they don't want me buying and selling cars, because to do that here, you have to pay California for a dealer's license, and they make more money that way. So they limit me on what I can sell with no dealer's license, unless I want to give them more money than I'm able to make more money.
The only thing
California's
cool,
fucked up, dude.
the only thing cool they did within the last year is you don't have to smog your vehicles up here anymore.
In Washington?
Nope, you don't have to do it no more.
When I lived there, you never had to smog them?
In King County, you did. In King County, you did. If you live in King County.
Yeah, in Lacey, there's no smog. No smog in Lacey or
King County,
Olympia.
Pierce County, the 2 biggest counties in Washington, you had to smog them. And
Well, that makes no sense, because
since
nowhere else you do.
Since the air is clean enough, you don't have to smog anymore.
Yeah. I noticed on my wife's, this is fucked up. Like here, for any of my vehicles, I can buy tags for 2 years. On my wife's government car, she brought it home. They gave her a brand new one, and she brought it home. And I was looking at it the other day, and I looked down, and the fucking thing's tagged till 2029. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" She gets tags for that long? Like, we don't get that. I guess just the government. Well, you guys pay for it though. You guys paid for the tags.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you guys paid for the tags and the car. I wish I could take it to Vegas so you guys could pay for my gas too, but I'm not allowed to touch it.
Now, don't lose all your money in Vegas. Don't sell your cars and lose it all in Vegas.
Yeah, really.
I ain't losing no money. I'm a gambler, dude. I will win money in Vegas.
That's what they all say.
And I was
Sounds
listening
like
to you about.
I have. I literally have. I guarantee you, Chad, I'm at least $6,000 plus on Vegas. I am ahead that far on it, that far in my winnings from Vegas.
I was listening when Sony was talking about listening to loud music and you're driving faster than you should. Every time you drive to Vegas on that straight fucking road where it's like a road of nowhere, you can't
the red
help
road.
going
The red
85
road.
and 90. You don't even realize you're going fast.
Yep.
I was driving one time with my father, and it was during the time, they drink and drive a little bit back in the day. and he was listening to Johnny Cash, and he loves Johnny Cash, and he was fucking going like 90 miles per hour. Didn't even know it until cop lights came up. It's like out of nowhere in the desert. Where's the cops? And my father actually told the cop. I told the cop, I'm sorry, sir. I was just listening to Johnny Cash. I got into the music. He actually let him go. He didn't get him a ticket because he was honest and he said he was listening to Johnny Cash. So if you ever get pulled over speeding, say you're listening to Johnny Cash if it's an older cop.
I'll do that.
You know, I used to work in Needles, right by Laughlin. So I used to have to drive from here to the work site. And I would stay there for a week and come home for one day, do my laundry, and go back. When I worked out of state, I was actually working in Arizona, but I stayed in Needles. Driving there, I didn't know where I was going the first time. And that was back before GPS on my phone. I mean, they actually had it, but I didn't have it on my phone. So I was using a map. I was using the printout maps, Chad, that we were talking about. The Google printout map. Yes. And I'm going like 90 miles an hour, and I'm in a Saturn 5-speed.
Very nice.
This cop, there's no one on the freeway. It's late at night. There's nobody. And then all of a sudden, there's lights behind me, headlights. So I grabbed my emergency brake and slowed down to 55 real fast and just kept it there. And these lights catch me, and it's a cop, and he pulls me over. And he said, I want to know, because when you pulled over, your brake lights worked. He goes, how the fuck did you slow down that fast without, like, he never thought about pulling the e-brake or something. And I told him, I'll tell you how I slowed down without my brake lights coming on if you tell me where you were hiding. And he goes, you know the sign that says welcome to Needles back there? He goes, I was right behind it, hiding right there. And I go, I pulled my e-brake to slow down. And he goes, well, the reason I pulled you over is I see your welder helmet, your Santa Fe helmet. We're told to keep those in the back because we don't get tickets that way. We really don't. If we get pulled over and we have, or if they see that helmet, we don't really get stopped for
that's nice.
the railroad. And so he tells me, I seen your helmet back there, and I told him that we're supposed to keep that up there. I thought he meant like he pulled me over because it's blocking my view or something. I go, they told us we're supposed to keep that in the back window and we don't get pulled over. And he goes, no, I was just pulling you over to tell you you're the slowest railroad worker I've ever seen come through here. He said he pulled me over to tell me I was too slow. In other words, I was going 90 miles an hour when I went by him, and he stopped me. After driving that drive all the time, going through that part where Eric's talking about, we call it the red road because it's red at nighttime. It's red. It's crazy. We call it Blood Road or the Red Road. And I will go 134 miles an hour through the desert. It didn't matter if it was day or night. I would pass cars. I just kept the car floored. I was as fast as that little Saturn would go, 134. And I would drive that for at least 30 minutes to get through that because it's so long, Chad. Oh. And if you do 134 for 30 minutes, it takes that whole trip out. Like, it's gone.
It's so
almost
flat
like
and long.
Yep. It's just flat and straight. There's...
And here's a good for anybody who goes to Washington. If you're going to drive up here in a California plate, they fucking love to pull you over with California plates. Out of all states, Washington hates Californians the worst.
They hate us. When I moved there, they hated me.
When I got out of the military, I got a job with the cable company, and the first guy I rode with, he goes, "Where you from?" I go, "I'm from California." He goes, "No offense, we hate you guys." Like, damn.
Oh, no offense, huh?
No.
They really don't care. They'll tell you.
Don't tell me. They don't. And I got pulled over, and there's cars going faster than me, but I still had California plates.
I found out too. It's the guys that don't like us.
Yeah.
The girls love us. That's why the guys don't like us. As soon as they find out you're from California, you must be a movie star. That's how they think in Washington.
Yep.
Not everybody's famous like Eric.
Yeah.
Like Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, what time's your show today, man?
10:30.
Okay.
I always put it on 10:30. It gives me a little time to watch yours, and I don't have to.
Yeah.
You know. But I feel like shit because.
Right.
I left my cup down here, and it's red. There's no battery in it.
Oh man.
Dead, so I have to use my regular. So,
I'm in the same. Well, at least you have coffee. I have no coffee. I forgot to buy some.
It tells you when the battery's dead. It goes red.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just about ready to close up here, guys. I got about 6 minutes left.
So the guy you had on, what's does he just have a YouTube channel and a website? I heard the website about the toys and stuff. Does he have a TV show too, or is it just?
He has a YouTube channel and also a website where they're a paranormal investigating group.
Out of Utah, wasn't it?
WASP. Yep,
WASP.
out of Utah. Yep, WASP, which I should know what that stands for.
You know, I had to check back on some of my news shows because I know I did a paranormal group from Utah, and I think it was WASP. I'm gonna have to recheck to see.
Oh yeah,
if that's his group. A lot of mine is paranormal groups from other states, and I know I did a couple from Utah, and I think it's WASP.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to double check.
All right, Jake, you're all called in, man. I just made a call to Dex Tech. You're all set, bud. Jake Smith, employee 757, taking a personal day or sick day for Tuesday, April 12th. That's all you gotta do. You just gotta say that sentence and hang up, and you're good to go. Then you can come over here and hang out, and then I'll call in. We'll just party all night. We'll go live on.
You gotta take a sick day,
dude. Last night was almost. I woke up and was like just not feeling right. And I almost called in. And then I got to work and had to wrench all night long. So it was like the universe was like, man, you should probably call in today. They had me do a job change on a machine that didn't really it wasn't a hot job or anything. It was just, they're giving me something to do. It sucked.
It's good to see Spooky. It's good to hear your voice. You sound really good.
Thanks, Eric. Thank you so much. Again, everybody that, sent well wishes and the positive healing energies and vibes. I could totally feel it, and I really, really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I'm so glad to have you back.
Thank you. Same.
It was strange.
It's wild, man. When you're out of commission for a week, you feel like so out of it, man.
I bet. Yeah.
Spooky, Spooky, when I was telling you when I got sick 4 months ago, when it wasn't the 19, but it was the worst flu I ever had. It came at the worst time because I had this big, huge online interview with this company, and I was in the middle of the flu. I was sick. I had I hate to use the word. I had the runs, but I had to do this interview. So I was popping up on pills, trying to be clear as I can. This interview, I had to drink a lot of water, and it's like, God, these flus come at the wrong times. Like, really? I got this big interview, my 5th interview at the same company. I'm talking to 3 major people, and I just feel like shit. And you can't say I can't do the interview because you can blow your chance.
Yeah, exactly.
You're just taking pills and stuff, and unfortunately, I didn't get that job. So I'm wondering if I did it. One, they're looking at me like, this guy looks too pale.
Sorry, guys. No,
You're good, Sonny.
I got another guy asking about the van, but this guy don't have a car. I have to drive the van to where he's at.
Oh, I don't like those meetups.
Yeah, but it's okay. He's not
cash.
from too far from here. No, it's not that. I think the other guy has a car. This dude don't have a car, man. I feel horrible. And this is a really fucking good van, so someone like that should get it, I think.
Oh,
maybe I should
nice.
just take it,
Yeah, it'd be good.
Till you get there and he knocks you over the
I
head.
have
and takes
so
the
many
van.
vehicles. It's not fair. I feel real bad selling this to somebody else because I'm selling it so cheap. I'm pretty sure the other guy's going to buy it and resell it for probably $4,000. So I'd rather sell it to somebody that needs it, really needs it.
What if he does have a car? He's just telling you that to get you on your good side so you can sell him a car.
Hey, karma will bite him in the ass, not me.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure he's not lying.
Well, you better bring a persuader just in case. Big baseball bat or something.
Persuader.
No, Papa Willie.
I carry my gun. They know that.
Take security with you, man. Papa Willie.
And look, I'm packing the 357, and there's even.
Damn, you got some extras.
Yeah.
Pew pew pew.
That's more than a pew pew pew.
In the different universe,
2-foot flame
Jamie's-
that comes out of that gun.
Jamie's banging us all.
Oh, let me go see if someone's here. I'll be right back.
All right, man.
Can we have the beards back?
Can we have the beards back?
I know you do feel naked when you don't have it. You get so used to it, then it's like, man, I look like a baby face.
Yeah. I don't know.
Go,
I'm
I gotta lose some more weight in the face.
Oh man, that's unfortunate. None of the vets are helping him.
Naked ass faces.
That's frustrating, man. I'm sorry, man. Damn. Might have to drive to another county, homie. But hey, guys, that was 3 hours right there. So make sure you go check out Eric, formerly Gypsy Road. He's currently Paranormal Highway. Go check him out in his VR headset.
Now that's a screenshot.
Pacific.
What the hell is he doing?
What the hell? And then, guys, also, Oracles and Beyond is going to be doing live readings tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. So please go check her out and get a free reading from Cassie. And then tonight at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Pacific, That One Time I Was Abducted by Aliens is going to have Bobby's Cryptid Corner live on YouTube.
It's going to be a good one today.
Doesn't Cassie have Buy Me a Coffee too? Does she have that yet?
Not yet. She's using mine for that. But you should probably just send her money because I'll end up spending it on Oracle cards.
My wife has one of those.
Oh.
Your wife has one of these?
Oh, VR headset?
I don't know. Somebody in the chat wrote, Parasola wrote, my wife has one of those. Is it because she does? If my wife has one, that means she's using it because she's trying to imagine me as somebody else. That's not good.
Sonny, check your Discord and Facebook. Jamie says, great show. Love you all. Stop shaving your beards.
This is coming off.
Uh-oh. Sonny's going to get all G'd out for Vegas.
You know, Chad and Sonny almost had their heads on girls' bodies on my thumbnail on Saturday. But
Speaking of thumbnails,
I was able to make the women's bodies disappear. I was able to replace it with men's bodies.
No, I found out today if I had a girl's body with my head on it, I would spend all day in the shower washing my boobs.
Oh my god.
I would never get out of the shower. They're so slippery.
Terry Brown says, wow, I was actually thinking about shaving mine today. I guess not now. Yeah, keep it on there, buddy. All right, guys, thanks so much for being here, and we will see you on Thursday where my sister will be on, Molly Christine. So we'll see you on Thursday. Thanks, Sonny. Thanks, Spooky.
thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Eric.
Love you guys.
Love you guys. We'll see you.
Thank you, guys.
It sound right, boys.